contribution, just sunglasses for the glare. Yeah, I know. Awesome power. For those of you who are just joining us on Facebook Live, and I think we are live right now, we are. I'm just copying on the chat over there that there's glare and I need some powder. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't have professional lighting. For those of you guys who watched maybe a week ago, I did a training on how to do virtual listing presentations that look pretty good. I showed you how to jury rig up pretty professional presentation chops. So as you can see, this has got a branded background and, it's pretty well lit and things like that. But you're right that it's not 1,000% powder professional and all that. It's literally, it's some Bunnings lights over there. It's a green curtain from Spotlight behind me. There's absolutely nothing professional. As you can see, there's pure blonde, green curtain, and you know what? Let's peek behind the scenes for those of you guys who are tuning in early. All right, so let's go choose virtual background. Let's go none. So it's a green curtain. All right. It is another green curtain. It's a TV right behind there. That's some Bunnings lighting, and I'm just in an office with with that. So nothing magical. But then once you you choose your background, in this case it's that, it comes up as pretty pro looking. So imagine this, you doing a listing presentation with you and your sellers and things, and you're there and your sellers are to your side, and you're there talking and you're branded, and then you share your screen and, you end up, doing a really professional presentation, using nothing but a curtain, some Bunnings lights, and a piece of free software. So pretty cool. The entire training on how to do that was about a week ago, and it's called how to do a virtual listing presentation, or words to that effect. So, but I grant you, and who was that who was saying? It was Brian Seth. I grant you, Brian Seth, every word that you said was true. Every word that you said was 1,000% true. So, but that being said, we do the best we can. Alrighty, so let's just, we're chatting in. For those of you guys who are on Facebook Live, I would strongly recommend, there's a link above. Click and join us on Zoom, because I can't see your chat tonight on Facebook Live, but I can see the chat over there, which is everyone here on Zoom. And there's a whole bunch of us hanging on Zoom. So welcome, guys. Appreciate you guys joining us. Can you see your green screen mug? Don't know what that means, Tim. A bunch of us on, including one of my guests from later on, Mr. MEsiti. Good sir, what are you doing on so early? I know how busy you have been, mate. The world has been inundating all of my mindset coaches, the guys that keep me kind of on the straight and narrow, and I've got about 4 of them. Certainly Dr. Eric Thomas has been smashed. I was talking to Pat MEsiti earlier today. Pat's phone has not stopped ringing because, now more than ever before, we need these people who can get our heads to be able to be surrounded by chaos and yet still take the actions we need to take. I was talking to Kurek Ashley a week ago when all this crazy stuff started. I've probably spoken to Pat maybe 4 or 5 times since this madness has started. Matt Steinwade is another one who has been challenging me, and, he's been kind of helping me out. And I love it that, over the last 5 years or whatever, I've been able to help Matt in whatever ways he's asked of me, normally with regards to marketing and things. And he's always the one who's there to help me when it comes to this silly looking head, So very cool. All right, so welcome, gang. So Brian is saying it does look good. An explanation, great bonus. Brian, I'd love it if you'd. If you want a good explanation of it, I go through. It takes about an hour where I go through everything to do for you to set it up, and look, $1 million for your consumers. So that's a week ago. How to do a virtual listing presentation. I've been doing sort of these little updates to kind of keep things rocking. So. Thank you. Love you. Oh, I love you too, Brian. Thank you, mate. Love you, Glenn. I'll love you right back, my man. All right. So, Tanya. Hi, Glenn. And I'll say hi back to you, Tanya. Thank you. Thanks for joining us, hey? And for you guys on Facebook Live, welcome. But there are benefits to joining us on Zoom. So the link's above. It is free. And when you register on the Zoom link, you will get all of the slides that I share with you, all of the example ads that we've been running, like everything that you've been seeing over the last 2 nights and tomorrow night as well, you need all those resources. You need the ads. You need the examples so that you can take these tools and go and implement them for yourself. So I'm not going to belabor that all night. I would just say if you're on Facebook Live, jump on here. And I think Naomi's able to access the Facebook Live, so she'll probably be just telling people all night, oi, go on Zoom. It's worth your while. So I noticed the shirt that I was wearing this morning, and it's this I can, I will, I must shirt, right? And it's an Eric Thomas shirt, one of my mindset mentors, whom I love. But I've never really wondered about the back, because Eric had this shirt printed, and it was about a speech he did about his wife when she was found to have lesions on her brain. Now, I know Dee Dee. She's an amazing human, as is Eric. I'm talking about Dr. Eric Thomas, the hip-hop preacher. For those of you guys who do know him, of course, you know who E.T. is. For those of you guys who don't, write that down on your notes. Eric Thomas, check him out. Free videos all over YouTube, and some of the most motivating and mindset-expanding videos and trainings that are on YouTube. And this is one of his speeches. I can, I will, I must. But on the back of this shirt is that sentiment. I can, I will, I must survive. So when his wife was going through terminal MS with lesions on her brain and just some seriously nasty stuff, and she's still with us and fighting hard and she's doing great, that was E's mantra. I can, I will, I must, and survive was what the mantra was leading to. That's the same for us. We've got to get through this, because what's the alternative? Right? We've got to fight our way through this, not with hope, not by relying on the government. They'll help us out, right? They'll help us out. They'll help us get through a little bit of finances. But we can't rely on them, because for every penny they help us out collectively as a society, that's our economy that has to pay back. So the more we have to take from them, the longer we take to get back to our position of wealth and standing within the world, you know? So it's up to us. We'll get through this. We have to, all right? So Trina is asking about the replay for last night. Absolutely, Trina. It is on Facebook below, on my Facebook Live, on my Facebook timeline, and it's also on my YouTube page. So and I emailed it out today. So check your daily emails. I emailed the link out today. All right, let's rock and roll. We have a lot to get through tonight. Now, actually, before we get started, what I did was I screen grabbed earlier today, and Naomi might be able to even send me a live update. But as you guys know, one of the things that I've been doing with this training is I have been, and I will just bring up the screen, there you go. I've been running ads on Facebook live for our VIP clients, right? The people on this web training that got their VIP ticket, I ran some ads, started a couple hours before, maybe 2 hours before we started streaming yesterday. And for those of you guys who were on last night, you saw how the ads were running in the first instance, how, we got a couple of leads for some of them. Well, an hour before this webinar started, I screen grabbed where we're up to. And as you can see, there's more names here. Well, guess what happened last night? Some people went and bought VIP tickets. Right. So I think Marie and Darren were 2 latecomers to the game who only bought their tickets like last night. And as you can see, Darren from down in Browns Plains, 2 leads that have come through. Beautiful. Marie from Burleigh, 3 leads that have come through there. Now, what I will say to you here, Marie, is one of those leads is a real estate agent. And that sometimes happens. When real estate agents see these ads that I'm running, they don't know that it's me, and frankly, they don't care. They just see an ad that's in the real estate space, so they respond to see what it's all about. So, Marie, one of those leads that has already come through, that heaven forbid cost us $1 per lead, one of those leads is a real estate agent. So really, that's only 2. Same as this one here, down here for Ben. One of those leads is Ben himself. So Ben's screwing up my numbers there, because what that means is that's more like $6 or $7 per lead. What that means is that's heaven forbid $1.50 per lead. I think we could live with that. Imagine being into an appraisal for $1.50. What I loved is Ben sent me this, or sent it to Naomi, but Ben sent us this about the 3 leads as of yesterday. So we know that one lead was Ben, as we know. The other one was someone that he'd spoken to, and I really was interested in this, Ben. Ben, are you on, by the way? Are you on tonight? Let me just check the thing on this. Let's have a look. Ben, he is. Yeah, Ben's on. So g'day, Ben. Mate, yeah, he's on the chat there. Thanks, Ben. So yeah, I loved this email. Now, I'm talking to you directly here, man. I'm being coached now. The other was someone that I'd spoken to who works in my wife's work, but who is listed and is now sold and bought. So I tell you, that is say that was, an average commission in the average area around Australia, and I don't know what Ben's commissions are. Say that's 10 grand. That is a $10,000 tax, Ben, on you not knowing how to do this a month ago. 10,000. I've been screaming this for a couple of years, my man. Here's what I would say to you, bud. Don't let that happen again. And we've all had it happen, man. I'm not sitting here on my high horse saying this hasn't happened to every one of us. Yes, everyone, give me a show of hands or give me a hell yeah in the comments on Facebook if you're still on there. Who's had someone that they know or a relative or something like Ben's just happened, where someone that he works with his wife who should know that he's in real estate listed, sold, and bought with someone else. Oh my God, it's happened to Michelle. Michelle's just saying it's happened to all of us. So, but Ben, don't let it happen again, man, because what did it cost? A couple of bucks for me to generate that lead. We should have had this skill set and this marketing system in your business, in your area 2 months ago so that you would have gotten that $10,000 check. Don't get mad, but just know that's a tax. So there's two payments to have been made. One was a payment of kind of discipline and learning and maybe paying a few bucks, a couple $100 a month for me to sort of teach you how to do this a year ago. So there's that pain, or there's the pain of being pissed off that someone else got that 10 grand and you didn't. But let that pain drive you and fuel you to never let it happen again. All right. So, and what I like there about the third one, my man, is the third is live. You've rung, you got the address, you had a conversation, and you've established it. Ben, play that right, and that's a listing. That's a $10,000 check in what we call in our little coaching world, the future bank. So well done. Overnight, you've sort of seen firsthand how this lead generation system works. And one of the things we're going to go through tomorrow is what ads did this. But as you can see, in every suburb, in your suburb, 4. In 4-6, I'm guessing that's up in Cairns, there's 2. Melita Bell, I did bump the budget on that one because we've only gotten 1, but hell, 1 at $27 a lead, still not too bad. 5 for Michelle up in Hervey Bay. Beautiful, loving that. Margaret Fogarty up in Mackay. So 3 up there at $5 an appraisal lead, haven't been. And I know I wrote those ads myself. I tweaked them for Margaret yesterday. And beautiful success we're loving there. This one here I'm concerned about. Before we started here, I bumped that one up to $100. And no, it seems Naomi.
Go to WhatsApp.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry.
Oh my goodness. See the professionalism you guys come back for. All right. So let me just bring this up. Copy. Thank you. Thank you. Naomi's just brought in some more. I'll just drag that on. Maybe that's the easier way. There we go. So this is the live and up to date. Literally, Naomi just sent me this now. Oh, there we go. So the one that I was worried about that had a dash there, now, because I made some tweaks just before we started, now we got 2. So if there's no name here, but Summerfield, maybe that's just the surname. We got 2 leads at $16. So pretty happy there. Very happy, in fact. Now, Deborah is saying, sounds like I may have left something behind as I'm a bit lost here. Okay, let me just go back. Let me slow down a little bit. 4655 is Hervey Bay. So maybe we got 2 up in Hervey Bay, Michelle. So we got 4610, I think, is you, and or 4610 and 4655. So yeah, they're probably pretty close, I would suggest. But there you go. Michelle said she got 3 property price report deliveries out to her leads today. Wonderful, Michelle. That's the start of the relationship to head to an appraisal. So let me go to Deborah's question, that she sounds like we got something left behind. What I did last night, Deborah, is as part of this training and as part of this 3-day kind of seminar, this was going to be a tour around Australia. All right. And when I do this live in the rooms, what I do is at the start of the day, I find out some of the suburbs of the VIP clients in the room, and I start some ads targeting their suburb, targeting their little patch. And then by the end of the day, we monitor it all day. We monitor it at lunchtime. We monitor it in the afternoon tea. And by the end of the day, I'm handing out appraisal leads. Well, when this craziness sort of took this event from being a live event around the country to being here online, I thought, well, why not just keep that formula going? So why don't I still generate some leads for the VIP clients? So some of the people who aren't on this webinar for free, but some of the people paid to be on this training, but I'm not pocketing their money. I'm spending their money on my Facebook ads guy, and I'm paying for those ads for those folks, and I'm generating them appraisal leads. As you saw, Michelle has been in 3 property price report face-to-face deliveries today because of leads that I generated for her yesterday. So that's what those statistics are. All day yesterday on our training, we had 3 hours yesterday between 5:30 and 8:30. We will do so again tonight. We'll do so again tomorrow. We were checking in and seeing where we were up to with the ads, and there was 1 or 2 in a few of the suburbs just starting to come in as we were training last night. And it's great to see now with Naomi's latest update that literally every suburb of a VIP client has got at least 1, if not more, appraisal leads come into their business while they've been sitting at home, kind of just sitting around. And what we've found is that the quality per capita, now I'm not saying that every one of those 4 appraisal leads that whoever might have got are all going to be listings. They're always, just like with all prospecting, a combination of people who need help now, people who need help soon, and people who need help eventually, right? Sometimes it might be very medium or long term, might be years from now. But the fact is, like we were talking to Ben before, Ben's contacted this person, got the address, built some rapport, built a connection. You maintain that for 3 years, no other real estate agent will have a hope, because you've been the one person that has been there since they were confused in the middle of this, COVID-19 crisis. You've been consistently there in good times and in bad, being their point of information, just being someone that they can rely upon for whatever, being a good, solid community citizen who happens to be in real estate. We talked about that last night in category 3 when we had that masterclass with Scott Lackland. Just do that, and there is a guaranteed $10,000 check for that $5 lead, Ben. $5 lead, stay in touch. Here's how I like to think of the metaphor with that regard. Imagine if your nana took $15 or whatever, let me just go back to sharing my screen again. Where's Ben? Now, this was before I started, and one of them was Ben, remember? So it's 3 at, so it's about $7 a lead. Okay, so imagine your nana took $20 and put it into a term deposit. And in 4 years maximum, that term deposit of $20, nana was just going to keep topping it up, and it was going to be a $10,000 inheritance when nana finally passes away, and she's been given 4 years to live. Now, that's a horrible metaphor, but stick with me on this. All it's going to take for you to stay in nana's will is you to drop her a postcard if ever you go on a holiday, text her every now and then, maybe every 6 weeks, tell her you're alive, email her every now and then with something up to date that might be of interest to nana, call her once every quarter, maybe once every 6 months, and drop around once or twice a year on holidays. That's all you got to do. And the $20 that nana popped into a term deposit, she's going to top up and make $10,000. Would you stay in touch with nana? If the answer to that is yes, then that person who you just built some rapport with, Ben, treat them like nana. The odd SMS, the odd maybe once or twice a year pop round with a nice token little present. Because as you know, nana doesn't care what you get as long as you get her something, just a little something. The odd email, the odd SMS, you know what I mean? There it is. If you do it for nana, do it for every nana. Treat every lead like it's $10,000 in the future bank. And every now and then, you're going to find one that is right now seller. And what we've found is at the moment, per capita, one of my guys was saying he got 3 leads from us a couple of days ago, and 3 out of 3 were listings. It might have even been Luke. Was it Luke? Was it you? You got 3, 2 were listings, and 1 you were about to list. Was that you, Luke? I can't even remember, but anyway, that's kind of the thinking. It wasn't you. No, okay. It was someone else that I talked to a fair bit. Oh, it was Alex and Felicity. There you go. It was Alex and Felicity Harden from Harden Property, the stars of the upcoming documentary called Harden Up, How to Succeed and Thrive in the Property COVID Virus Thing. So, yeah, there you go. Alex just said out of those 3 leads, 2 listed and 1 future listing. And that's what we found. Just a slightly higher quality of people, because you can imagine the psychology. Who's going to want to talk to a real estate agent and waste their time in the middle of this madness? Well, let's just say less people per capita are going to be time wasters in this madness. All right, so that's what we found. Alex is there saying less leads but better quality. That's what many areas are reporting, Bud. But what I would suggest is, based on my numbers, and these aren't the numbers that Naomi just handed me then, these are the numbers that... in fact, I'm going to replace that screenshot with the one that Naomi just gave me there. Let me just check my amazing skills at live PowerPoint updating. Ready? Watch this. Here we go. Let's try and replace this bad boy. Change picture from clipboard. Oh, look at that. I'm a genius. Hey, so these are the ones update as of now. So we've got now Woonona ones in New South Wales handled. We've got 2 there. So happy days. So we'll leave them running till tomorrow. We'll see where we end up. But suffice to say, out of the total lead generation that we've done over the last 24 hours, we've generated 22 appraisal leads minus 2 that are real estate agents. So 1 there and 1 there that are real estate agents. 1 was Ben himself and 1 was just another real estate agent because I recognize the email address. At an average of $7.74 per lead, and you're telling me that we're in the middle of a crisis and no one wants anything to do with real estate agents. Well, we've just proven that 22 people want to, or 20 people want to talk to real estate agents. 20. So hope that makes sense. Was I answering there? Who thought they had missed something? It was, no, Marie? No. It was Deborah. So there you go, Deborah. That's what we've been doing yesterday. And if you do want to watch the recording, check my emails. I emailed the recording of last night. It was 3 hours with Matt Steinway and Chris Gilmore and some legends. And it's all there in its entirety. It is already up on YouTube, ready for you to review. Let's get on to tonight. All right. Let's get on to tonight. Okay. So, as we said, what are you charging to set up these ads? Yeah, talk to Naomi, man. You're in the inner circle. Talk to Naomi. All right, let me just go back here. All right. Wow, there's some chatting going on here. Gnomes, I don't know if you can kind of respond to all this chatting. It's crazy. So thank you for this, guys. But yeah, Karen Young saying good day. Welcome, Karen. Hello, hello. All right. Luke is saying he needs to update his copy. I agree. And Anton said, Woonona is hard to crack. Well, it seems we got it, man. 2 leads in the last couple of hours at only a few bucks per lead. So, you know, you can get there, mate. You really can. All right. So a whole bunch of people saying, Ben, they have been through what you've been through. So no harm, no foul there, my man. All right. Marie is saying, how do I receive the leads, please? Yeah, we should be in touch, Marie, but Naomi's listening into me right now, so she'll be taking note that, Marie, you'll be getting your leads ASAP. My Facebook guy will have finished for the day, but you never know. Naomi might be nice and just email them to you right now. I don't know. You never know. Maybe, maybe not. She'll be sitting there cursing me saying, give me more work, Twiddle. We've got so much on, but it's all good. All right. And Margaret is saying, will you be sending them to us? And Naomi said that she's already sent them to you, Margaret. So check your details. All right. Let's, all right. I'm going to have to leave Naomi to go through all that chat. I can't keep up with you guys. I've got a bunch of content to get through. So, Gnomes, if you want to collate any specific questions and get them put into the Q&A, I will have a chance to go through Q&A. There is a Q&A button here on Zoom for you to put in specific questions pertaining to tonight's training, of which I'm now half hour behind and I feel bad. So last night we had Matt Steinway, we had Scott Lackman, Andrew G, Josh Brockhurst, Chris Gilmore, Jared Carmen, and a whole bunch of input from you guys where we really went through both extremes of what to do in a market that is less than ideal. We had a bunch of different ideas. So do review last night's fun where we talked to, again, Matt, Chris, and just some of the best of the best. One of the things that came out of last night was to be informed, listen to credible sources, find out the difference between legally mandated rules, what is a suggestion, and what is bro legislation from your buddy Frank's sister-in-law on Facebook. Communicate a lot with your people. Don't hide and don't bury your head in the sand. Right? Communicate a lot and don't get caught don't get caught doing something naughty. No, don't get caught believing something that isn't true. So you want to know things. So this is one of my friends from Coffs Harbour, this is Chris Hines, who found this piece of new legislation that is saying that one of the exceptions to the house arrest we seem to be under, certainly in New South Wales, is moving to a new place, including inspecting a new potential place of residence. So that's the sort of thing you want to be availing yourself of facts, not just bro science, so to speak. All right, tomorrow night, this is going to be massive. Not only have you got two of the sharpest business women I know. Now, in the case of Naomi, she used to run a nearly seven-figure real estate business herself. She was a real estate agent, and she was the systems PA runner. Like, she was the one who was in charge of virtually everything in that business, as well as listing and selling, but she would handle the systemization of her real estate business so it could be run by an assistant or assistants. And of course, our good friend Lisa B, who is also an absolute maestro in that world. And they're going to be running a masterclass tomorrow on business and systems setups, because you can't do it all yourself. You've got to get some of this stuff on autopilot. So that's going to be something to look forward to tomorrow. And one of my guests tomorrow will have for you, and I'm saying nothing more other than this will all be revealed tomorrow night. It is the most lucrative attraction and conversion weapon that I've ever seen in my 20 years of doing this. Be there tomorrow night, 5:30 Brisbane time. That's all I'm going to say. Tonight, let's get stuck into it. We spoke last night about turning marketing weapons like the ads that are currently running right now into leads, and then eventually, sometimes now, as we just saw from Felicity and Alex, turning those leads now into listings, or turning those leads in 2 years into listings, or 6 months, or whatever the case may be. But it's turning $5 things into $10,000 things. That's the magic of this. That's what we need to figure out. And it's a combination. We discussed this not in much detail last night, but this is kind of the principle. It's a combination of maths and psychology. So we worked out last night that the maths, the dollars to get a lead, on average at this webinar, it's been $7 to get a lead. How many leads does it take to get an appointment? How many appointments does it take to get a listing? And how many listings to get a sale? You work out your metrics, and then you just figure out how much you want to earn, and then figure out how many of them you need on any given day. Beautiful. For example, we talked about, say it was $25 to get a lead, and it took you 4 leads to get an appointment, and it took you 3 appointments to get a listing, and it took you 2 listings to get a sale. Now, all of these numbers are quite bad. So say it was that. Say it was that. And then what that means is it'd be 4 leads to get an appointment. So that's $100, $300 to get a listing, $600 to get a sale. How often would you swap $600 for $10,000 with 10 to 20 hours of your work, right? So maths. And the beauty of this business is the maths is so good. All we're left with is psychology. And psychology is the variable. What psychology is, and let me just sort of explain what you're looking at right there. Psychology are the words you say on a telephone. There you go. The words you say on a telephone, the words you type in an SMS, the words you say on a live stream like this, the words you write on a letter, the words you write on a handwritten note, the photographs you post on a Facebook post, all of those variables, the way you get your message from your head to your consumer's head, that's the psychology. So whether you write a letter that says, hey, I'm in your area, I'm doing free appraisals next week, that gets X amount of response, or whether you do an ad that does better than that, that's the variable, right? So, so we talked last night about how there are certain principles that are timeless. We've been talking about some strategies that are based on those principles, tactics that are based on those strategies and as part of those strategies. Then we implement. Then we optimize. As you saw 2 hours before this training, I optimized the ads in whatever suburb that was down in New South Wales. And between 2 hours before the webinar and 15 minutes into the webinar, I had generated 2 appraisal leads for our guest here on this training. That's what we call part of the optimizing process. I tweak the ads and I change the budget. Then, once we've got it all nailed, we systemize and outsource it because your time is too valuable. Think about this. If it's 10 hours work plus $600 in lead generation to get a $10,000 check, then pretty much your hourly rate is $900 an hour. So you must systemize and pay someone else to do every single task in your business that is not nose to nose and toes to toes, belly to belly with a client. Does that make sense? I need you to get that principle. When it comes, and that's what we're talking about with the Systems and Business Masterclass with Naomi and Lisa tomorrow night. Your hourly rate, when you get this right, is between $500 and $2,000 per hour. And that every waking hour should be spent either on the phone to a potential client or nose to nose, toes to toes, belly to belly with a potential client, a current buyer, or a negotiation back and forth between buyer and seller. That's it. Everything else needs to go through this process and end up at the systemize and outsource part. All right. And that, you know what, the next thing after you've gotten that far is you can outsource the buyer run process, which many of my clients have done. That's the next thing to go. Running of buyers gets done by a staff member. So what are you left with? Just vendor negotiation and listing presentations and prospective listing presentations, prospecting, marketing and stuff. Imagine if your only job was tweaking some ads because you've got some copywriting skills, you know how to run some ads, was doing the odd listing presentation, booking the odd appointment, or you've got a PA to do your admin, and you just go do that. And then you get offers from your buyer running team, and you take those offers to sellers. Sometimes you get into your buyer runner and you say, oi, not good enough. Get back and apply the negotiation formula. You're trained better than that. And you send them back without even going to your sellers for a counter. That can be your life. Now, there's some work to get there. And that's what we're here to fill in the blanks for the next couple of nights. So we talked last night, and this is big. We need to revisit this because until you've got this internalized, and I know some of my students that are on here will be sick of seeing it, but these are the 4 categories of posts that we're going to go through. Number 1, what do you do for a living? Meaning what that means is it's a post, or when I say post, I mean on an advertisement on social media. But of course, this is true of every media should be doing one of these 4 things. Number 1, sharing with your community what you do for a living. Category number 2 is a post or an advertisement that is proof that you're incredible, evidence that you're amazing at what you do for a living. Category 3 is posts, ads, etc., that show you are real, raw, human, authentic. You know what I mean? That you can have a connection with someone on a human level. Because let me make you this promise. No one out there wants to connect with you based on what you do for a living. No one. There's no one out there saying, you know, I'm going through a hard time right now. It's pretty scary. The government, I don't know if I can trust them or not. Seems like I've lost my job, my family's lost my job, and there's no end in sight, and I don't know what I'm doing. You know who'd make me feel better? My local real estate agent. That'd be great. No one said that in the history of the world, ever. So what are you going to do? How are you going to connect with them if they don't need you as a real estate agent and 99.9% of your community don't? Then they better be connecting with you on category 3 level, real, raw, human, authentic, just being a person. And category number 4 is generating a lead. Now, that you can get ads, posts, etc., that can do combinations of these things. All right, but I want you to take a note, write down every one of those categories, and then place them over your, and of course, I was going to say place them over your current advertising and see if it fits into any of those categories. But then, of course, you might think that it's doing one of those things, but it just might be really bad at it. So you definitely got to make sure you're using best practice in all of those categories to the best of your research and training can afford you. So what we talked about last night was going back to my musical days when I was a wannabe musician. And this is sort of what a mixing desk will look like. And it'll often have tape. Is Andrew Daniel on here? No, he's not. But Andrew, there's a few Andrews. There you go. Andrew G's on here, who was one of our guests last night. Welcome back, sir. So yeah, Andrew Daniel's my musician mate. And he would absolutely know that's what they do at the bottom of a mixing desk. They put some masking tape there and they scribble down lead mic, Freddie mic and Brian May guitar and whatever, right? So if that's your normal mixing desk, and you might have different, like as we saw from Scott Lackman yesterday, his raw, real, authentic person fader, slider, volume knob is always pushed all the way up, right? So what I'm suggesting here in this COVID-19 world, we want to have that for at least temporarily pushed all the way up. And that means you might do a little less lead generation. Now, we've just shown you based on my ads that that lead generation is still alive and well, that within 24 hours, that's what's scary as hell to me, is half the real estate agents in the world are giving up, and some idiot who has never listed a property in your area, never sold anything in your area, has no brand, has no right to be generating 20 leads in the various areas all around Australia, and that we've been doing so. How is it possible that we've generated 20 in 24 hours? How is that possible? It's a crime. Like, Ben, what happened to you where your friend just, where your friend, your wife's someone they knew, whatever. What happened to you, Ben? I've just done 20 times to some other real estate agent that when I give those leads and when those listings go to one of you guys, do you realize how many agents are out there are going to say, oh my God, that's from my wife's sister's cousin knows them, or that's you know what I mean? They all bought off a real estate agent. They are all sitting in one real estate agent or another's CRM, being virtually ignored, being taken for granted. And those listings that 2 out of 3 that Alex and Felicity listed the other day, whatever it was, right? They got 3 leads, 2 listed now, 1's going to list in the future, they said. It's a future bank listing. Both of those listings that they took on, there'd be 50 agents that didn't even know that they knew someone who knew them or they were sitting in their database. There'd be 50 agents that didn't even know. But there'd be 10 agents that are sitting there going, oh, how could they? My client listed with those guys. My client. I've heard that. I've heard that on social media. There was someone on there complaining, and I quote, oh, not fair. My client listed with someone else. Think about the words there. This was a post on Facebook. I wish I'd have screen grabbed it. My client listed with someone else. Now, I don't know about you, but the way I see it, someone forgot to tell the client, because from where I'm sitting, there's someone else's client who listed with someone else. Can't take for granted. I don't take for granted if my friends Alex and Felicity go to another seminar. I can't boo-hoo and say, oh, my client. In fact, I encourage them to go to other seminars because I haven't got all the answers. But you know what I mean? No one owns anyone unless you are literally in an appointment with them. They ain't yours. So, all right. So I would suggest that you don't have to pull lead generation down, but this might be your mixing desk at the moment. You might push up the raw and pull down the others, whatever the case may be. But all right, let's have a little talk about some of these posts. Let's have a look at some examples. So, and by the way, all these examples will be available. Naomi can tell me how. We're going to get you a little pack of PDFs with all of these examples and all of these posts, etc. So category 1 is, what do you do for a living? So now this will apply to any business. I mean, the first thing they have to know, because again, I sometimes get some sneaky people who aren't even really real estate agents come to my little trainings here, which is wonderful, and welcome to you guys who are non-real estate agents. This is true of any business. This is true of your business. This is true of my business. This is true of any business. The first thing you've got to do is know that they're alive and that what they do. So if you own a coffee shop and you want a new coffee shop customer to stop going to Starbucks and start going to you, first thing they got to do is know that Fred's Coffee exists and that it sells good coffee. My business, the first thing I've got to make you guys aware is that I'm a sort of a mentor, coach, consultant, whatever you want to call me, and that I help real estate agents with their marketing and advertising kind of thing. That's really what I do, and making them famous. So I would suggest that you guys know very, very clearly what I do for a living, because even if you've never come to a seminar before, I've inundated you with so many posts and boosts and stuff that tells you what I do for a living. You know exactly what I do for a living. So for you guys in real estate, your method of you telling them that you're alive, what you do for a living, is predominantly through your listings, deployed on social media. So I grabbed a few examples from my friends and clients, either recently, currently, or over the years. And certainly there's none better than Paul Tonich. So I got a couple of screen grabs literally that are up now. So if you go to these guys' pages, you will see these listings up there right now. So have a look at this one. 17 hours from when I screen grabbed this, and I screen grabbed it yesterday. So 2 days ago, this property was put on the internet. Within 17 hours, 46 comments, 3 shares, and 88 likes. That's a beautiful example of the listing formula. And there is the formula, lots of emojis, lots of attention-getting emojis and some information, a link to the property, copy, 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 and that's how the whole thing looks. That's how it looks when it's got the see more thing. When you click see more, it opens up the rest, and that's how it kind of looks. Beautiful. So imagine for that to get 88 likes, 46 comments and 3 shares, that's probably had to have maybe 2,000 to 5,000 people see the brand Paul Tonich, Perth Property Team, see the property itself, because you know how we scroll through a news feed, in order to get 90 of them to like it, 46 of them to comment, and 3 of them, now probably one of them is Paul himself sharing it, so a couple of them to even share the listing in 17 hours. Imagine what that is going to look like in a couple of days. All right. So now you might be saying, by the way, let me go back to Paul. You might be saying, oh, yeah, but Glenn, you've been talking about Paul Tonich for 10 years, because I used to go and work with Paul maybe 10 odd years ago. 2011, 12, he has been doing this and building his Facebook page. So do not for one solitary second think that this is happening because Paul's been doing this for a long time. He's got a lot of followers on his page. The organic reach on Facebook, what that means is the free reach that Facebook gives you for nothing, is a fraction of a percentage of a smidgen. It's nothing. It's virtually nothing. So none of that came as a result of his historic work. It all came as a result of him applying a marketing formula to his listings. What that means is pointing his VPA, because Megan Reed only started in her business a couple of years ago. She was a client of ours at the time when we met. She was a Harcourt's agent. And Megan is applying this listing formula brilliantly, and for the last couple of years has been doing so. And as you can see, in one day, 17 comments, 2 shares, 27 likes. In 28th of March, and I did this yesterday, so it's if it's the 30th. So in 2 days, when I grabbed this, 70 likes, 79 comments, 14 shares. So that's the formula. And you can see, do you notice anything familiar? They are doing it the exact same way. They are working to the same formula. So that's kind of how to do your listings. And if we do go, let's just have a quick sneaky peeky look at what's happened because I'm curious to see what's happened in the last 24 hours on that listing on Paul's page. And what you'll also see on both Paul's case and Megan's, I'll get Megan's page loading while we talk, while we have a squiz at Paul's. And Megan, if you're on, hello, well done. You're my favorite person to talk about in the listings formula. I don't know if you know that, because I've spoken to Megan for a long time, but she came and studied with us hardcore for ages, and for a better part, even over a year, got what she needed and rock and roll. So here's one that he only listed yesterday at 7 o'clock in the morning. So in a day and a half, 11 comments, 14 likes. This one here, again, yesterday, 25 likes, 16 comments. This is the one we were talking about that we screen grabbed yesterday, put up, like I said, 17 hours and 1 day ago, and 122 comments, 5 shares, and 156 likes. Hat off, Mr. Paul Tonich. Well done. Megan Reid, let's have a look at some of hers. There we go. This one, 4 hours ago. 51. Megan, I love you. Tell me Megan's on. Tell me Megan's on. I would love it if she was. No, she's not. I was just looking at the retro list. Look at that. 4 hours ago. Formula applied correctly. VPA system applied correctly. 51 comments, 4 shares, 39 likes. God bless her. And look at every listing that she's got. You know, here's another one, 30th of March, so a couple of days ago, 17 comments. Here's another one, the ultimate dual living property. Here's probably one. Now, I'm going out on a limb here. I would suggest that this one, she hasn't put in the VPA formula to. You'll notice that it's not done the same way the pictorials are often done. This is our formula with the photos like this. Notice that this isn't done like that. It's done a little bit different. Interesting. So I would suggest that this has been done and there's been no VPA applied to it, because that's happened. Let's have a look at the next one where she's applied the formula. 28th of March, formula applied, 92 comments. Megan Reid, take a bow. Done real, real well. Naomi, just remind me to get Megan a trophy. She's done real, real well. Well done, Megan. All right. So that's the listing formula overview. Can't go deep on any of this stuff tonight. I can just give you some examples and show you what they're doing, right? So that's kind of what they're doing. VPA applied at it. This, lots of emojis, lots of copy. Follow this formula as Megan and Paul are doing. Happy days. All right, category 2, proof you're amazing. I'm going to go a bit faster through these examples. So here's my man Tom Carlin. This is an example of category 2, proof that you're amazing. Right. So now the fact that this is a lovely couple that just look nice and sweet, it's probably a little bit of category 3 as well. Probably a little bit of category 3 as well. Even though it doesn't show that Tom or his salespeople are real, raw, and authentic, it just gives the feeling that this post is, you know. Video soul flyers is a big one of our systems. So it's a combination of a branded post with a video testimonial coming after a very short intro, all put together in a very nice little weapon. So actually, this is one I wanted to show you this yesterday, and I'm going to show it to you tonight. I'm just going to get my sound to be shared. Share screen. All right, so this is one of my favorite versions of this video sold flyer scenario. So imagine that this video appeared on a timeline and was deployed to, I don't know, 10,000 people in and around your area. Have a listen to this one. It's one of my favorites.
Tony and Denise Allen, what a lovely couple. When I first met them, they were at the end of their tether with the agent that they had, you know, getting nowhere, been 6 months on the market with them, and then they'd changed agents to someone else and they weren't getting anywhere, no offers were coming through. So anyway, I offered my services, but at this stage, Tony and Denise were a bit over it all. Tony did not want to spend any more money on advertising, didn't want it to be on realestate.com, just wanted to lay low and maybe if we sell it, we sell it, we don't. He was just over it. So anyway, I worked my way in there, got an opportunity to sell the property. They're the nicest people you've ever met. I'm so glad that I got them the result they wanted, and yeah, life's good.
Okay, so let me take a quick pause. That's the first part of the video sold flyer formula, where we have a bit of an intro. Now, Joe's is a bit longer than I normally like. That went for 40 seconds. I kind of like a maybe 10, 15, 20 seconds so we can get to the testimonial quicker. But Joe's was so good, it really did tell the story. And then this testimonial is so good, I don't mind that it went a bit longer than normal. So, so that was Joe. That showed Joe as a real person, by the way. So that was even a little bit of category 3. But this next little part of this video is category 2 to the extremes. Let's have a listen.
We owned a house in Twin Waters that was waterfront property and it had a park beside it, so therefore we felt that it was worth a considerable amount of money. We had gone with 2 other agents who, although they brought people through, only presented offers that weren't what we were anticipating. So we were just at the stage of being ready to withdraw from the market, and Joanne came along. Tony, on the other hand, didn't want to keep going. He was prepared to pull the house off the market. However...
Well, I thought it was stale, it had gone stale, so therefore we'd take it off the market for 12 months and then see what happened. But Joanne chatted to Denise and Denise chatted to me, which these things happen, and I said, okay, we'll give it a couple of months, and we're going away for a little while, so she can have it for a couple of weeks while we're away and then see how she goes. Well, we got a phone call while we were in Fiji, and we were text backwards and forwards, email and text backwards and forwards, and got the price we wanted. Finish. Done. All very easy.
God bless Tony, hey? How much of a champion is Tony? I love him. Totally believable, just totally in every way fantastic. And, you know, one of my favourite testimonials of all time. So, but that's the formula. Little intro from you, little headline saying sold in 60 seconds or whatever, and then a believable human seller telling the story. Now, you know, that's just a ripper. Because now, when that's been shown for maybe $100 10,000 times in Joe's area, did 10,000 people watch all of it? No. Maybe, you know, because the curve, if you just want to, now I don't think this works. Actually, let me try. I'm going to try it one more time. I'm going to try and annotate this. Let me just try this. So annotate, that means I'm supposed to be able to draw on the screen. No, never lets me do it, so I'm not going to try. All right. So say there's a graph. The curve is like this. Oops, wrong way. The curve's like this, all right? What that means is if 10,000 people are views of it, that means 8,000 people saw it up to the 5-second mark, and 4,000 people saw up to the 35-second mark, and 1,000 people saw up to the 45-second mark, and only 200 people saw it to the end when Tony told his story, to the end. Out of 10,000, my question to you is, for that $100, which 200 watched it to the end? The 200 that could bother sitting through a real estate story, and is that not the best $100 you could ever possibly spend? The answer is absolutely it is. It's proof that you're awesome. And if you deliver, you know, version after version of that proof, whether it is video sold flyers or whether it's handwritten notes from sellers like this. I saw this deployed on social. Great initiative from Valerie Timms. Here's Joe with a graphical version where when you've got a written testimonial, put the copy up there in quotes. Again, you chuck up a graphic or something to get attention, and that's an example of a graphical piece of proof that fits into category 2, property sold. So a sold flyer, effectively you got a video version and you got a graphical version of a sold flyer. You could have at the top of your page more proof, testimonial proof, saying that from Andrew and Evelyn that Tom Carlin's a genius. Or it might be, you know, here's Josh down in Tassie saying Glenn Twiddle has been one of the biggest influences in my life. Everything is about my name now rather than the company. Now, let me get something out to you guys. Understand that Josh never wrote me that and said this in an email. He never wrote that out to me and said, Glenn, here is your written testimonial. I got a video testimonial from Josh, and that is what Josh said in the video. So when you get video testimonials, not only does that give you the raw materials to do a video sold flyer like I did before, it can also give you the raw materials to create this. And for any of you guys who saw Josh Hart speak at ARIC, then you might go, oh yeah, I like Josh. And then you think, oh really, he's another one of those ones that studied with Twiddle. And over time and time and time again, you see so much evidence of all these agents giving me some or all of the credit of their success, you eventually start to think, I should do something with Glenn Twiddle. That's how it works in my business. That's how it's going to work in your business, etc. So, you know, there's Tom and Lana. So there's written testimonial and there's the sellers. So that's kind of category 2. Category 3, we had a masterclass last night from the great Scott Lackmond. So from 4510 TV. So I won't belabor that. Watch that replay And Naomi's been telling a few of you guys in the comments where to get that replay. So it's on YouTube, it's on Facebook. I emailed it out. It's everywhere. So find it and go through that. We saw Bianca. That's an example of Bianca being real, human, authentic, etc. I just did want to add this though. With category 3, the reason we want category 3 at all, because a lot of people have asked me, and even, well, let's just say criticized me for doing these out of the box things because they think it's got nothing to do with real estate, so why should we do it? Well, it's because, unbelievable as it sounds, they don't care one bit what you're doing in your career right now, ever. Like literally 99.9% of their lives, they actually don't like what we do for a living. They don't like real estate agents, right? Most of their lives. So you're out there trying to prospect based on market updates and what the market's doing. Well, frankly, with very rare exceptions, they don't care what the market's doing. Right now, there may be some exceptions right now when there's such uppy, downy fluctuations, potentially. But I tell you what, if every 5 to 7 years someone transacts or does business in property, the chances of any given day when you're doing your prospecting call that they need a real estate agent are thousands to one because they don't want you, right? It's like I've asked this of a few people when I've been in seminars and things. How often do we think about our accountant, right? How often do we think about their accountant? If you're on Facebook Live, pop it down in the comments. If you're here on the thing, how often do you think about your accountant? How often do you think? Now, maybe even now in these troubling times, you're on the phone to him every day. I don't know. But under normal circumstances, how often do you think about your accountant? Just whack it in the chat. Andrew's saying once a year. I wonder what they're saying on Facebook Live. Not sure. But Bettina's saying once a year. For me, absolutely, it's once a year. Some people say it's once a quarter to do the BAS. Fair enough. I don't do my BAS. Naomi handles a team that does that. So once a year, they drag me kicking and screaming into the accountant's office, and I don't even want to go then, right? So that's, Elise says, when the ATO call, right? Fair enough. How often do you think about your accountant's competition and what they're up to? Let me ask you, in the Facebook Live, pop it down below. In the comments here on the webinar chat, we've got some of our panelists being noisy. Oh my God, how many Pat MEsitis are joined as a panelist? Oh my God. Gnomes, kick out some of those Pat MEsitis, please. We only need one. We can only handle one. So how often do we think about our accountants' competitors? And the answer is, there's a bunch of you guys in the chat. I'm sure a bunch of you guys on the Facebook Live are saying never. Well, here's how that relates to you within category 3. If you have listed or sold for a consumer, that's like your accountant. So they think about you if you are staying in touch and if they remember your name. And believe me, there's a bunch of people that have sold a property for someone and they don't even know who they are. I've bought in 12 properties in my entire life, and I know 2 people who have sold for me, and I don't really know many of the people who I've bought off. Michael Spillane sold one for me. Danelle Weissman sold one for me. Actually, Michael Spillane sold 2 for me. Danelle Weissman sold 1 for me. So the fact of the matter is that even if you've sold for them or listed for them, as Ben found out before, even if they know you, there's no guarantee that they know you. That's it. So in the accountant metaphor, that you think about your accountant once a year. So if they know you and you've sold for them or bought them, then that's the accountant. They'll think about you once every 5 to 7 years. If you're just an agent prospecting an area and you've made 1 or 2 cold calls through your area or whatever, they don't even know you're alive. So just like you just said, you never think about your accountant's competitor. Think about how insulting that is. That accountant's competitor went to uni for 3 years plus to learn how to do that. They spend every waking minute figuring out the tax laws and all of the stuff to save local business owners in their area as much tax as they possibly can. Then they went and hired a business premises. They hired a secretary. They did all that stuff. And you don't even know they're alive. Well, guess what? That's you. If you haven't listed or sold for one of the community members out there, you've been thinking you're doing all this branding and blah, blah, blah. They don't even know you're alive. So there you go. What can we do about it? Well, you better do something. What do they care about? Them, right? Them. There you go. Trevor's just saying, I bought 1 property and could not tell you who the agent was. Absolutely. That's most people, Trev. So doing stuff like this with your branding. If all they care about's them, then do you think they might like a big kick butt, expensive looking esky with your branding on it for them to chuck some gear in and go camping? Absolutely. Do you think they might want to win a doggy hamper? You might say, what's doggy hamper got to do with being a real estate agent? Nothing. It is just so 4,000 people comment on your social media post. Because believe me, 4,000 people aren't going to comment on any other post unless it's about them. What I loved about this one is half of my coaching program copied it. Have a look at the difference of that graphic and that graphic. Look at that one. Julie Ormston, God bless you, one of the best implementers of Category 3 in my world. She implemented this, and then someone in Queensland, because Julie's in WA, someone in Queensland copied it straight away, identical, right? Identical. He did the same prize, and then he printed out the prize, gave it to his PA and said, go buy all that stuff. Because he listened to me when I said change as little as you possibly can when you're copying a winner. So beautiful. Look at that, 2,600 comments. This was a startup business at the time. Now, don't feel bad for Julie that she got copied, because guess what? Julie copied off another one of my clients, right? So that's the beauty of this. Yeah, I know Luke is saying, what the hell, 4.1K? I get it, right? So Julie copied off this one. But do you see how the tweaks Julie made sent it through the roof? Now, here's the one challenge. This is where the art comes in. You're never going to second guess why it went so crazy, right? You just got to keep tweaking and keep hoping and testing and measuring and all of that. So every time we give away a doggy hamper, virtually without fail, it works magnificently. Look at this. Beautiful. All right, so tickets to M&M. My man Peter Elmers, I don't know if he's on tonight, but look at this. Tickets to M&M, 5,500 on a brand new page, because Pete just started this page literally the month before or something. It was brand new, and 1,700 new page likers based on this one promotion. Tom Carlin then copied him. Beautiful. It's very smart to do so. 1,200 comments. So back to school again. Our friend Julie Ormston, Adam Gould copied that one. Again, just great engagement. The all-time champ, Tom Carlin, with 12,000 comments and 11,000 shares. The all-time winner, Mr. Tom Carlin. And if you'd have told me that, Luke, another WTF would be in order, I agree. 12,000 comments. What that means is everyone within a 20-kilometre radius saw this promotion. And I would never have guessed that a Knights of Com would have been the all-time winner. So we went back to that. Of course, when you're on a winner, you do it again. And once again, he did it to however many months later or whatever, 7,000 more comments, more likes, more shares, just beautiful execution, Tom. So whether it's back to school, whether it's ice cream for a year, whether it's as simple as gold class, 760. Look, I know that you're sitting there thinking, how can this be? I put up stuff on my Facebook page and I get 3 likes. Me, my PA, and my principal, and my mother-in-law, right? It's because we're not doing things that are through the filter of what would my consumers like? Or you're putting it up there and you're applying no marketing dollars. Now, understand, a lot of these don't cost much in marketing dollars, but they will cost something. None of them will be free. You can't just post these up and rely on organic. Will never happen. So a tower of mega churros, 472 comments, 100. That means thousands and thousands and thousands of people in the marketplace actually saw this, and a whole hundreds of them paid attention enough to even enter and tag their friends. So, so the procedure, have it on the page, run a boost. Now, I've had people say, oh, you don't run boosts. Boosts are for amateurs and you got to use Ads Manager. Boost is Ads Manager. A boost is just a shortcut to an engagement ad, which is a perfectly valid outcome that you want to get on Pages Manager. So boosting is fine. The only thing that I would say in boosting is just be careful not to accept all the defaults of boosting. Because if you just push boost and you don't tweak some of the defaults, it'll end up shoving the ad on Instagram, which is a mistake, shoving the ads on the ads network. You know how, on apps and things you see ads and stuff, like you're playing a free game and an ad pops up every now and then? Well, that's because the ads network on either Facebook or Google or one of those other platforms shoves ads into that app. Well, you don't want that. You don't want to be interrupting someone's gameplay with your, hey, would you like a free appraisal ad? No, just run them on Facebook, turn off all of those other placements. But other than that is perfectly adequate to boosting it to your default audience. Make sure you're not just boosting it and going everywhere. It's got to be going to your local marketplace. And for you guys who got the VIP ticket, you got to pimp my social session with me. So me and you, in the next couple of days, Naomi's going to book you in, and I'm going to run through and make sure your audiences are set up. So those Pimp My Social sessions, I had them up on the website for $1,000, and I was doing them just for some friends and stuff for a couple of $100. So you're getting one for nothing as a part of the VIP thing. So a couple of you guys, Melita Bell, look forward to doing that with you. So we'll check your audiences for all of our VIPs, of course, on a Pimp My Social session. So the last one that we're not going to go through right now, I'm going to go through in more depth tomorrow, is lead generation. But that is the things like this, where a little animated graphic might be for a virtual property eval. We're working this one, experimenting right now, working great guns. The ones that we are running to get these results right now, as we showed you guys at the start. And I'm sure these have improved. By the end of this webinar, I'll get Naomi to give me another update just before the end, and we'll see where we're at with these. But as you can see, going great guns. And, we're going to touch base with all of the different ad types that we've been going through that are running to get those ads. We'll go through that in great detail tomorrow night. So what I wanted to do now is I'm going to, let me just go and return to meeting here. Where am I? Oops, no, I don't want to return to meeting. Let me get rid of that. And let me stop my share. There we go, me again. All right, so there is a lot of the examples, and you will get a copy of all of those examples. If you're here on Zoom, you got them, right? Naomi's going to tell me later how I'm going to distribute them to you, all the slides, all the examples, so that you can tweak them and go and have a crack at applying them in your neck of the woods and see how they go. Remembering the various categories. Now, they're just examples. They're not examples that you feel free to, tweak them and, Luke-ize them or Mary-ize them or Margaret-ize them, like change them to your brand and your style. And if you want some help with the graphic design, I've got a team of people that made the ads in the first place. So they're happy to take out one agent, change it for your color scheme and your branding and redo that. And certainly for clients, in many of cases, clients who are on here, they get that done as part of our service. We'll do it for you for nothing. Some of you guys, if you're not clients, well, I'd become a client and get it for nothing, or just pay a little fee and cover my expenses of getting it done, and rock and roll. So implementing is the key. But I didn't just want to show you here, run this ad. I wanted to show you what the ad is designed to do. And it's always one of those four categories. One exception is, which really fits into category 3 a little bit, or category 2. Category 2, remember, is that you're amazing. And category 3 is that you're real and authentic. And that's positioning tools that position you as an expert or an authority in your area. So a copy of a best-selling book that you've written would fit into category 2/3. Right, so a photo of you with Sylvester Stallone chinking a glass of bourbon would be an example of a positioning piece. Because I took some friends with me to Arnold Schwarzenegger's house. Andrew G, who's on here tonight. Andrew, you were there the day. Were you there the year that Stallone was there? I'm sure you were. Arnold. Andrew G has got a photo on when Andrew G. Let me give you an example. This is an example of a positioning photo. Andrew G. Now, I don't know if it's on his page or on his profile, but let's have a look. So that top there, that book, Don't Give It Away, How to Sell for More by Andrew G, that's a positioning piece. But this one here is the one that I wanted to show you. Oh, I like this one. Look at this. God bless Andrew. Look at that. How many people he's just saying that I'm the genie? Isn't that a lovely thing that Andrew did? God bless him. Now, where's the photo of you getting photobombed by Schwarzenegger, man? Got to be here somewhere. Where is it? Oh, there's ET. There's the gang. Okay, so no, it was after that. So it might be on your page then, Mr. G, hey? Andrew's probably typing away saying, Glenn, you just passed it. You just passed it. Let me just have another quick look here. See if I tagged him in it or something. There's him in ET. God love him. Oh, that was a moment Andrew didn't talk about yesterday. That's Eric Thomas. And Andrew was telling me how that was a moment for him. That was a real moment. At some stage, Andrew, we will talk about that again, but I remember that photo, how much that meant to you. No, must be on his page. There's a photo of Andrew. Let me just go back to timeline, G agency. So you guys can do this. And, this is his new agency. It might be on the old one, hey, McLeod, I reckon. Maybe. Let's have a quick look. No, there's only 7 photos there. So we'll go back to McLeod because he sold this company. But the photo, I'm sure, will be there. 131. It's got to be here, Andrew. See, I'm not wasting your time, I promise. You're not screen sharing. Yes, I am. You sure I'm not? Oh, I'm not. Geez, I'm an idiot. Oh, no. So I've been rambling on that whole time. Oh, my God. Well, as you can see, I never found what I wanted to do anyway. This is his page, or the former page of the old company. By the way, this is his branding. So this branding fits into category 1, knowing who he is, right? So it's attention getting enough so that they know he's in real estate. That's an example of category 1, right? The car's being branded. No, can't find it. So Andrew's got a great photo of being photobombed by Arnold Schwarzenegger. So anyway, that is an example of category 3 and positioning of you as an expert, authority, perhaps even a famous version of what it is you do for a living. So that's kind of, that principle. All right, I am going to take a tiny little, I'm not going to call it a break, but I am going to get some help now to do the next segment. So let me just stop my share, because what I want to sort of give you guys a heads up on. I've been on the phone basically 24 hours a day almost from you guys telling me in some way, shape or form that it's tough, right? And I understand it is, right? Last night we saw firsthand some of the best this industry has ever created, myself included, sharing some of the tougher mental times that we have had in recent weeks, right? And not everyone has been as positive with the experience of a Matt Steinway, who's just been, as you saw, been weathering this storm very, very well. And he's been a leader to many of us, myself included. Not everyone's weathering it as well as and there are people in every area across the country that are doing well. We heard from Felicity and Alex the other night, who really made a storm when Felicity joined us for 3 hours in my inner circle, sharing how well her and Alex were going, working their butt off, don't get me wrong. Alex was saying on any given week in the recent weeks, he has been doing at least 1, 2, or 3 24-hour days where he works all the way through the day and then all the way through the night and then crashes. So make no mistake, these people are earning it, but there are some people who are doing okay. And there are some people who are struggling, and there are some people who are really struggling. So what I wanted to really share was going back to the bloke that's helped me, and really he was the first person who started me on this journey, who got me from thinking like a $40,000 a year Ipswich person who tears tickets at a local cinema or who flips cards at a casino, because that's what I used to do before this. I was a musician, not the flashiest one. I was adequate at best. I could play guitar and sing just well enough to get paid, barely. But I think they paid just because I had a lot of fun and I drank a lot and I was fun, not because I was any good. I was a dealer and a floor manager at the Brisbane casino. Well, another thing that I did. Met Michael Spillane at that casino, and that's why I got into real estate. Thank goodness for Michael Spillane. Before that, I used to tear tickets at a cinema. So it's interesting that I mentioned Michael Spillane. Michael Spillane also introduced me to my first mentor. He gave me a book called Wake Up and Dream. And I read that book. Then I read the next book, Dreamers Never Sleep. And I sent Pat once a book, but the author of that book, I sent once Pat a photo of my dad with the book Dreamers Never Sleep on my dad's chest, asleep with the book Dreamers Never Sleep on his chest. I must dig up that photo, but I did send that to Pat once many, many years ago. I since then saw Pat at a coffee shop talking to the head of a major brand back in the day on Park Road. I interrupted that high-level meeting, not knowing that it was inappropriate to do so. I interrupted that meeting and I said, "Excuse me, Mr. MEsiti, I'm so sorry to interrupt you guys, but please, this is my card. We own a little real estate agency just over the road over there on Milton Road. It'd mean the world to us if you could give us a call when you're done here. We'd love to have a coffee and just say hello, because we're big fans of yours." And I was with Michael's plan at the time. And as we went by, Michael just said, "That's Pat, that's that guy that I gave you that book of." I went, "That is too." And so off I went. And I'm so glad I was brave enough for those 20 seconds to interrupt, a mentor and an idol of mine, who was really one of my first motivational books. It wasn't quite the first one. The first one was called The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. The second one was Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. And the third one was Wake Up and Dream by Pat MEsiti. And I've since read every book that he's got. I've since listened to every audio program that he's got. And he not only has helped me get my head stuff right to take me from one way of thinking to the next, but he introduced me to every other mentor to round out my skill set in marketing, in influence, in persuasion, in everything that I've needed, coupled with Pat in the mindset space. And Pat's no slouch. And here's the other thing. Pat's no slouch in those influence and persuasion things himself, but he would still bring in other mentors into his little world to help coach us, to take us from expert level to mastery level. Not that I ever got to mastery level in any of it, but he'd bring in the right resources to help us do so. And, so we're going to spend some time now. If you're going to implement any of this stuff, I know, especially in this marketplace right now, you are going to need what I needed to be able to go from thinking like an employee, 40 grand a year. How the hell am I going to start getting 7-figure and multiple 7-figure revenues, which I now enjoy? How the hell is that going to happen? You're never going to earn a 7-figure revenue. Now, I'm not saying I keep $1 million plus a year. I spend a lot of it to make the 7 figures happen. But how the hell was I going to have the mindset when I start earning as much in a week as I used to earn in a year? It messes with your head. So the guy who started me on this journey to get me thinking in the right way were the books, the programs, and in recent years, the personal mentorship, because I couldn't afford that at the time, of Pat MEsiti. So I wanted to get Pat on for at least part of this training and say, Pat, I know that your phone is running hot. I know that, you're in more demand than ever before, because I was talking to Pat earlier today. Literally, the phone, and multiple best-selling author, just sold millions and millions and millions of copies of books, programs around the world. So his phone's ringing. So I begged for an hour of his time, and he's going to come and hang with us. So let me just play this video for you, and then let's get some gold so that we can weather this storm. In this middle section of tonight's training. More to come on the tactical and all of that afterwards, but and stick around for some Q&A as well, and I hope we can avail ourselves of maybe some time for some Q&A with Pat. But for now, let's check out this vid, and let's set the scene for those of you guys who may not know the great Pat MEsiti. So let's have a quick listen.
Pat MEsiti is a self-made multi-millionaire.
The product you produce.
His dynamic leadership and business skills have allowed him to build the largest and most successful youth organisation in the Southern Hemisphere, Youth Alive, having over 15,000 teens in regular attendance. He is the author of 9 best-selling books, such as Pathways to Prosperity, The $1 Million Reason to Change Your Mind, and How to Have a Millionaire Mindset. Pat's books have sold in excess of 700,000 copies worldwide, and his motivational programs have sold over 2 million copies internationally. Pat also graduated over 400 young men with drug addictions into a recovery program with a staggering 86% success rate.
Pat MEsiti says he knows the key to making millions.
Pat MEsiti is what's termed a prosperity activist and set a goal of making 10,000 millionaires within his lifetime.
Pat's appearances on many television programs has seen him televised into 14 million homes, plus articles published in newspapers and magazines nationally and internationally has made him a sought-after speaker and consultant on the international stage. Pat's enthusiasm, combined with his great sense of humour, gives him the ability to move an audience into action, as well as give them practical resources to help them achieve their goals.
Mr. Pat MEsiti.
You see, if you want to go to another level, you've got to do something different. In the absence of value, you'll argue cost. It's the law of investment and return.
And so on that note, let me just see if I can't share my screen. Now, Pat, have we got some video? That's what we need from you, good sir.
Yeah,
After that,
I'm trying to this is start video. You cannot start
allow
the video
panelists to start video. That's my fault.
Yeah,
Now it'll
let
work.
me on.
Now it'll work. Go on, push the button. It'll work now.
All right, push the button. It'll work. Start video.
There we go. Here he comes.
Here we go.
Da-da-da-da.
Here we go.
Wait a minute. Which one of there's two Pat Mesitis on again, but I think it's this one. Ask to start video. There you go. Now you can push the button.
All right.
Oh no. Naomi should have told me. I don't know. After all that build up, Pat.
That's all right, mate. Listen, I can't wait to hear myself speak. Hang on. Oh, wait. Allow. Start my video. Gotcha.
There we go. Rocking and rolling.
Hey, I tell you what, I can't do technology, but I can make money.
Yeah, well, I agree, mate. That's not. We didn't hire you for your ability to play with an iPhone. But I tell you, man,
thanks for the introduction, man. I can't wait to hear myself present tonight.
Well, mate, I find it hard not to be kind of emotional, enthusiastic, but sometimes I wonder what would have happened in my world had I have not stopped that one day on Park Road there at Milton. You know,
I still remember it clearly.
Sliding doors moment.
Tell that story all over the world, and you had that Megadeth T-shirt on.
Probably still do.
You had me at Megadeth, mate. And but look, I'm excited about tonight, and I've prepared a brand new lesson. And look, for those of you that are on there now, don't go clicking off because it's not the practical side of real estate. This is what makes great agents. And what I'm about to teach you tonight, I mean, Glenn, you've said it, and I heard you say it publicly. So that we've probably created more first generation millionaires in this industry than anybody else. And although I know how to help people really get this sorted in this time zone. And I don't want to speak to them. I don't want to speak to you tonight as a real estate instructor. I don't want to speak to you as a real estate coach. I don't want to speak to you as a speaker to everyone out there. I want to speak as a dad. I want to speak as a businessman. I want to speak as a husband, as a father, and a guy who from 5 a.m. this morning was on the phone helping people navigate their businesses. And just one of them this morning, and Glenn, I spoke.
One of them was me.
One of them was you, but another one of my business guys that I mentored this morning in a down economy I helped him generate over 360 grand just overnight. And I don't want people to switch off. This is not just going to be about money, but without this, you're not going to make money. And, if you've got a penny in the slot mentality in this day and age, in this current environment, it's not going to work. So whenever you're ready to let me loose, Glenn.
Oh, mate, I'm ready now. I'm pen and papered up. And so what I'm going to do.
This is going to be interactive. It's going to be interactive. So I need to see can I get to see who's on there? I probably can't.
Okay. Naomi, no, probably not. But as soon as I get back, because I'm just going to pause my screen and then let you do your thing. I'm going to be taking notes. But if there's stuff that needs relaying, me and Naomi will pop on and relay it, mate.
I don't take questions. I want people to say, oh, hell yeah, or whatever. But let me get into this. I want to speak to you tonight. And there's 5 kinds of people out there right now in our world, 5 kinds of people that in this corona crazy environment, there's the naive. They got no idea what is going on. They have no idea what's going on, and they stick their head in their sand, and they're hoping through whatever miracle or Tinkerbell or whatever that this is going to get sorted. Then there's the ill-informed. Now, these people spread a virus faster than a cruise ship in Sydney right now. These people are lethal to your thinking. They're ill-informed. So you don't want to be naive. You don't want to be ill-informed. Now, I'm going to get to how to build a real estate empire in this. Believe me, this is about the 7th crisis I've seen in real estate in my 42 years in speaking. And believe me, there was one that was probably a little bit worse than this one. So just hang in with me, because Glenn and Naomi give you the nuts and bolts, the practical, the Facebook, the strategy. I'm not that. I'm going to work on your mindset This is the foundation. If you get the foundation wrong, guys and girls, you're stuffed. I'm telling you right now. Psychology, and not psychology is in being positive. I'm not talking about being positive. I'm talking about the mindset to navigate. So you got the naive, you got the ill-informed. Then you got the third kind of people out there with agendas, and they use this political gain or some, social thing that they're trying to peddle. And, and I get tired of these people. We're not talking about that right now. We're talking about this. And they push an agenda. These people are toxic. Then you've got the conspiracy theorists. And look, I've got my ideas of what I believe is going on and what really is happening, but that's not going to help you. And then you've got the well-informed. This is the guys that you want to be. Last night, Matt Steinway, well-informed, brilliant. He said something that this morning, again, rattled me to the core. It was powerful. He said, we deal in the area of negotiation with people, but now you're going to have to negotiate yourself. So I'm going to give you a few things here that it's brand new. Not the message is brand new, but I've taken chunks of glimpses of what I believe God is going to help you navigate. Firstly, you've got to get a daily routine. In the midst of this craziness, in the midst of, being isolated, you're going to get a daily routine. Listen to me. What you do daily is going to determine what you are permanently. Can you write that down? What you do daily is going to determine what you are permanently. Set a clock and get up at the same time. Get up and go for a walk. Do what you got to do. This morning, I didn't realize that Glenn was in Perth. I'm texting him. I think it was about 5:30 a.m. this morning or 6 a.m. this morning. I was doing stuff in the UK and in Europe, and then getting a hold of Glenn. But you've got to get the daily routine. You've got to get your body in movement right now. Why? Listen to me. If you know anything about psychology and your body, if you're sitting down, if you're watching TV, if you're listening to all this stuff, your body and your mind is going to just implode. We weren't built for this. Listen to me. You're not built for this. So get into a daily routine. What time are you getting up? I'm going to go for my walk. What time am I going to read? When I tour with Schwarzenegger, and I've done about 5 or 6 tours with Schwarzenegger, he has a daily routine. Branson, daily routine. If I went to Matty Steinway or Chris Eagleman or any of those guys, you'll find all the top guys, they've got a daily routine. You've got to get a daily routine in your life. And here's the thing. If you don't have someone to hold you accountable for that, more than likely you're not going to do it. Now, I've got some good news about that as well later on. The next thing is this. Number 2, quarantine your mind. Quarantine your mind. People are quarantining their bodies, but their minds are absolutely being bombarded by political viruses, awful news viruses. I mean, you don't know whether to believe Fox, CNN, ABC. You've got to quarantine your mind. Now, listen, you're the only ones that can do that. You're the only one that can say access denied. Listen to me very carefully, because later on I'm going to talk about the power of voices, how you've got to be a voice and the voice inside your head. Listen to me very carefully with this one. You've got to quarantine your mind from toxic agents. And believe me, some of them right now I want to belt, because I'm watching some of even the leaders in real estate saying stupid stuff, filming themselves in airports and going, oh, this is terrible. You are not helping anybody. Listen to me. And if you're watching, stop it. You're not helping anybody. You are becoming a social media parasite. You've got to stop it. Give good news. Feed people oxygen in their mind and their soul. And if you're a leader training people, you've got no business putting out the doom and gloom out there. And I know that people might get mad at me for that, but so be it. There's a lot of good stuff. Report the good stuff. You don't build momentum on negative influence. No one builds out a business on negative influence and toxic stuff. You've got to get out there and feed. Your clients are watching you. Believe you me, if you're out there as a real estate agent, your clients are watching you. Your customers, your leaders are watching you. Your clientele, the environment, the universe is watching you. And you've got to quarantine your mind so that when you speak or you post or you put something out there, it's giving life. Listen to me. Quarantine this mind. Put a firewall, put an antivirus in there. The next thing is this. I really believe you've got to operate on one side. Well, there's 2 sides of the same coin. belief and fear. Now, right now, there's a lot of bad news, but there's a lot of good news. Now, let me just say this to you guys. People are still divorcing. People are still dying. People are still buying. People are still selling. It's just that maybe right now we've got a lot of, well, what can I say, blockages there. Now, here's the thing. There's 3 types of agents that are going to be out there. And I want to work with you guys. And thank you for staying on, guys. All thank you so much. There's 3 kinds. There's the achievers. Now, they're exhausted, but they're implementing. Yes, we all get it. I get tired. Come on. I've been up there this morning and up there at 5 a.m. doing something in the UK, helping one of my business partners generate hundreds of thousands of dollars. Why wouldn't I do that for you guys? Now, yeah, you know what? A farmer gets tired 2 times. 1, when he's sowing. 2, when he's harvesting. And then he's got rest time in between. Get used to it. Achievers are exhausted, they're exasperated, but they keep plowing in. And if you think that all the achieving guys just got it cushy, and you're kidding yourself. You're kidding yourself. Come on, guys. You are magnificent. You are achievers. So what if you're tired? You know what? I love that quote of that was written by and I can't remember. And so, but he talked about there's nothing more powerful and more exhilarating than when you've given your best and you lie in the field of battle totally exhausted. You know what? I don't want to live full and die empty. You know,
that was a president, I think. That was a president, I think, Pat.
Yeah,
I think that was.
Thanks, mate. Thank you. See, I want to live full, die empty. Live full, die empty. And you know, when you're exhausted, here's a tip. Listen to me. Schedule pleasure, because pain will take care of itself. In you achievers, you know the weariness of the battle. Glenn out there, I'll tell you, I don't know how he does it. I call him General Glenn, and I love him.
Is it just me that's lost Pat, or is everyone? Anton, yeah, no, you guys have as well. Bugger. All right, Naomi, if you can find Pat and just let him know the last thing we heard was that he loves me. That was nice. Man, I might have just pushed stop right then because that's all I want to hear. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, way to end on a note. Yeah, agreed. When he gets back, also, is it Mick? Someone just said it was, yeah, no, a bunch of people have lost him. So, yeah, Mark Driscoll said, Pat, you're brilliant. And I agree, Mark. And we'll relay that as soon as he gets back. So let me just quickly mute myself for a minute. No, I'm sure she's onto it. Okay. So, yeah, live full. Yeah, cool. So, yeah, Pat's onto it. Naomi's onto Pat to get him back. Yeah, so I tell you, I can't overstate the importance of this, but let me tell you this, this much. What I used to think of stuff like Think and Grow Rich, of stuff like The Magic of Thinking Big, of stuff like the lessons you're going through now, that mindset stuff. Here's what I used to think. Because I was a muso and because I had half a personality, I used to get hit up with personal development type stuff a couple of times a month with someone who wanted to meet me for a coffee, give me a copy of Think and Grow Rich or Personality Plus or Success System That Never Fails or How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie, all of those classics, people used to give them to me to try and recruit me into Amway or some other multi-level opportunity. And so when I was first given copies of things like that and Pat's book, I used to think, you know, this is one of those motivational things that Amway people read. If I, you know, want to read one of these, instead of going down and spending $20 on a motivational book, I'll save my $20 because I'm motivated. I used to literally roll my eyes at it and scoff at it. And but I tell you, out of everything that you know, sort of put me on the path, it is one, because do you think I could have gone on and done what I've done without that trait? I couldn't have. Like the magic of thinking big, those lessons directly impacted me into setting the goal and the achievement of having Arnold Schwarzenegger headline at one of my events, a goal that now I've done business with and socialized with Arnold 6 times, twice in Australia, 4 times in America. 4 times business with him. And then there's been at least a once a year, sometimes twice, catch up with him to go over to his house or to go to Gold's Gym with him or whatever the case may be. None of that would have happened without the principles and learnings that were started with a book called The Magic of Thinking Big and that were continued with a mentor like Pat in Wake Up and Dream and Dreamers Never Sleep and all of those mindset books that I sort of thought, Jesus, I did. That's what I thought of them. And I know there's some agents out there that just want the brass tacks. They just want just tell me what to do. And here's what happens. When it gets hard, you stop doing it. Or you say you just want me to tell you what to do, and then you second guess it and you don't do it, because you think you've got a better way. Well, why pay me in the first place to tell you what to do? And it's this stuff that is the difference that I've seen anyway, whether it is Pat or whether it's another sort of, coach that Pat might have introduced me to or whatever the case may be, or the principles where I hear Pat say it one way and I hear Jim Rohn say it another way, I hear Zig Ziglar say it another way, I hear Eric Thomas say it another way, but maybe on the third listen through the third coach, it finally penny drops and off we go and we implement and we get the result, We talk about there's a little cycle that we've got, right? And I haven't got a graphic for it, but I'll try and explain it in my own way. So there's a cycle of this is we start with your belief. And what you believe then leads to a certain amount of motivation or feeling or state of mind or just energy, so your belief results in, let's say your belief, and then that results in your energy and your motivation, your state, whatever that may be. That results in what actions you do and don't take and the way that you do or don't take them, which ends up resulting in a result, of course, which reinforces the belief of what you believe is true. So that spiral will work in both directions. That cycle will work both upwards. So if you believe that this is the end of this industry and it's over right now, if you believe that, that will result in you taking action and you being in a certain state of misery. And even if you do drag yourself out of bed and try and figure out, I'm going to try, you're going to do so with a certain way. And that, we have another Pat. Let me just get rid of one. Remove that Pat. And we need some sound, Pat.
Can you hear me, buddy?
Gotcha, my man. Beautiful. Let me just remove the other Pat. Can you see the other Pat? See that fella above you?
All right, mate, I'm on.
All right.
Can you all hear me there?
Cool. So you're back. I am just going to, Gnomes, I might leave it to you can you get rid of the other Pat? Because I seem to can't. Gnomes is going to have to remove the other Pat. But I was just in the middle of a bit of a lesson, Pat. I'm channeling my inner Pat MEsiti. All right. So I'll finish the lesson and then I'll let you know where you were up to when we lost you.
Yeah. I've got my notes. I'm right.
That spiral will lead to both ways. So the belief will result in you feeling a certain way, which will result in certain actions you take. So if you think it's all over because of Corona, then you'll feel like horrible. So even if you can force yourself to act in a certain way, you're going to get the results commensurate with those actions that will reinforce the belief that it's all over. And it works the other way round too. When you feel that it's awesome and you have great beliefs, it's going to result in you feeling a certain way. It's going to result in you taking certain actions in the right way with the right intensity that will get you a certain result that will reinforce the good belief. Now, here's the key that I never figured out for a long time that I finally got. No matter what a mindset coach like a Pat would say, or any of those guys across the world, there may be some people who can do it. And that's why so many people say, you just got to believe, and they can change that cycle of belief, how you feel, what you do, getting a result, which reinforces how you feel, which reinforces the belief. And there must be some people who can change that cycle at the belief phase. For me, I never could. The way I entered that cycle is I could artificially, temporarily, for say a 3 or a 6 month period, a 6 month stretch, I could enter that cycle by listening to Pat for an hour, or by listening to, nowadays I listen to either Pat or Eric Thomas or Joe Rogan or whoever it might be. I'll listen to someone else, and temporarily I will be then in a state that I will act in a certain way to do the right stuff in the right way with the right enthusiasm that will get me the result that will then change even a shitty belief, right? So I might not even believe that everything's good, but what I would do is I would artificially get myself in the right state of mind, the right frame, the right energy, so that I could do the right things that have to be done, get the result that's positive. Then I start to undo that belief that I couldn't just will myself to believe. I couldn't just go, I've got to believe I can be $1 million performer when I'm actually a $40,000 a year performer. I couldn't just will it. What I had to do was I had to borrow from other people's belief and artificially, temporarily put it in me.
Yeah.
Then I could act. And then it ended up reinforcing and actually reprogramming the belief. Because then when I started to do this incredible stuff, now I've got a list of 20 people I want to work with in my business, and it starts with The Rock, Oprah, Will Smith, and just who's who. I've got 20 of them written down. So now I believe that I can work with Dwayne frickin' Johnson, whereas back then I barely couldn't count my lucky stars when Pat Mesiti, Mal Emery, and a couple other of my friends came along to my first ever event. I couldn't count my lucky stars when these champions did. Now I think I can have anyone I want on this planet come. It's just a case of setting it and figuring out how to do it. It's a crazy world, the way that cycle works. So anyway, Pat, we lost you. You got your notes there.
I'm so sorry, mate. Thank you, the NBN. And here, now let me go. I'll recap.
Actually, your last words were, I love Glenn.
I do love Glenn. And I'll tell you what I love about you. This is what I love about you. Here's what I was speaking about: quarantine your mind, daily routine, the belief system. Learn to pivot in your doing business. I can't believe you're having a beer on a webinar. Yeah.
I got pen and paper though.
Here's why I love you. This is why I love you. And because I want to get in this. I want to finish this in 35 minutes and give them gold. There's the achievers that are exhausted, they're exasperated, but they go up another level. And here's what you got to do. Achievers in these times, listen, you guys don't need to do anything different than what you're doing now. Well, if you've been doing something, you just got to turn it up another level. And one of the things I love about Glenn is I was speaking to Glenn a few years ago, and I was so frustrated with some of the agents. And I said, Glenn, all we've got to do is get these guys up 5% better than the average, and we're going to make millionaires out of them. And really, if you look, even in the sporting realm, and I've worked with some elite sports, which obviously I can't talk about them publicly, the difference between the greats and the ones that, and I mean, there's been some greats that are nowhere right now. I can name them for you. I never trained them, but some of the greats that, involved in my life, like the Freddie Fittlers and the Matty Rogers and the Jason Stevens and the Gordon Tallases. But I can tell you there were some guys that were probably better players than them, but what they didn't have was some mindset. And you've got to be the kind of people that have got the achievers. Like, yeah, I'm tired. Yeah, I'm exhausted. Yeah, just like the farm, I'm tired 2 times. Number 1, when I'm sowing seed. Number 2, when I'm reaping a harvest. Then you got the people, they're the quitters. Now, they're no different to the achievers. They're exhausted. They're exasperated. So they give up. Same thing. Everyone's exhausted, everyone's exasperated. But the difference between the achiever and the quitter is the achiever keeps going, it keeps implementing, it keeps strategizing. Then there's the third kind of agent, those that have always been around. They've done nothing then and done nothing now. One of my favorite sayings is, I can take a good agent, put him in a bad market, and he'll change the market. Can I get a nod on that one, Glenn, if you agree with me on that one? I can get a bad agent, put him in a great market, he changes the market. Isn't that interesting? Why is it that we took a bunch of young kids that knew nothing hardly about anything and turned them today into liquid cash-making machines? It's their mind. Now, you've got to quarantine that mind. Listen, here's what write this down. Everyone write this down. I will not grow alone. You cannot grow alone. I really believe it's important that we get voices in our head. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. Here's the spirit I want every one of you to have. They tried to bury me, but they forgot I was a seed. They tried to bury me, but they forgot I was a seed. The corona tried to bury me, but they forgot I was a seed. This tried to bury me, but they forgot I was a seed. You've got to have that mindset that this is a season and I'm going to control the harvest. You've got to have that. You see, I really believe one of the other things, and I'm speaking to you, as I said, as a father, a brother, an uncle, a mentor, a coach, can I encourage you? Because you've all got families. Listen to me very carefully. This is not just about real estate, because I think sometimes we've got to broaden it a bit. Quarantine the environment of your home. I'm giving you a pause there. Quarantine the environment of your home. Glenn, I've got a still shot of you here. You're looking so cute. You're looking like you want to kiss me.
Really? Did it not? It's supposed to get rid of me.
Listen to me very carefully. Right now, all of us, your family's watching you, your kids are watching you, your clients are watching you. Listen, train the environment of your home, of your office, of your telephone to the level of your tolerance. In other words, I'm not tolerating this. I'm not tolerating the negativity. I'm not tolerating funky attitude. Just the other day, we're in the middle of some renovations in my home, right? Now, my home is a sanctuary of sanitation. I'm telling you right now. Guys didn't turn up because their wives were scared of the coronavirus. Number one, I don't have it. Number two, I've got more sanitizer in this place than you can imagine. One guy turned up on his own, on time. I tell you what, he never left my house. He didn't get a wage that day. He got more than a wage. He walked out with a pocket full. Here's why. He decided to train the environment to the level of his tolerance. He knew this is a time where he can make great money. Listen to me, agents. Listen to me. This is your golden time. When the others are quitting, freaking out, when the others are posting photos of empty airports, just annoys the crap out of me why any real estate coach would do that and instill fear. No, you're not informing, you're scaring. You've got to develop a great mindset around you. Now, here's how one of the ways you're going to do it. You've got to decide, what can I control and what can't I control? Let me run through some things with you. If this is good, can you give me a yeah or something? Just tell me you're enjoying it. Give me a yes, type of yes in the box, and maybe
hell yeah, we did have
hell yeah, or
we had
give me some dollar signs in there. Come on, let me see some dollars. Thanks.
We had Mark saying that you're brilliant.
Come on, Anton, Ben, give me some dollar signs in there. Come on, Carolina, Andrew, give me a couple of. Give me the dollar signs. You know.
He's found the chat, folks. Look out.
I'm sick and tired of seeing that crap. Let me see. Come on, Trina, good. Max, Ben, come on. Let me see.
There you go. All right.
Come on, Kim. That's all right, Luke. Now, hang with me. Here's what I control. I can't control if others will follow the social distancing isolation rules. Get over it. I can't control the actions of others. I can't control predicting what will happen. I couldn't control today the government tell me I can't use my jet ski, which I'm riding alone in the middle of water. I cannot be more isolated than that. But anyway, let's leave that alone. I can't control other people's motives. I can't control the amount of toilet paper in the store. I can't control how long this will last or how others will react. But here's what I can control. Number one, the environment of my mind. Number two, my actions and decisions. Number three, I can control turning off the news. Number four, I can stop listening to stupid posts. Number five, I can control my own social distancing. Number six, I can control how I'm going to run my real estate business. And listen to me, guys, because you might sound like I'm angry, but I'm excited. You're already doing this shit. Am I allowed to say that? Oh, I did anyway. You're already doing webinars and you're already doing virtual stuff and you're already using the email. Use it now to your advantage. Use technology. Don't excuse technology. Look, I'm not a technological guy. I just about went into a panic attack then and did my deep breaths, but I'm using technology. I'm using technology every day. I've got a guy right now, a friend of mine, whose restaurant is going broke. I'm going to generate for him $150,000 out of his email list in the next couple of days. How? I will stream. I'll do webinars. He's now taken his business online. Watch this. Making different foods online. He's making a killing. The day I walked into his restaurant that was shut down, he said, Pat, you walk in the door, my phone rings, and I get an order for $80,000 worth of small goods and pasta. I said, mate, I'm your man. And straight away, he used what technology he had. He used what skills he had. Listen to me. Use the skills you've got in this environment and turn them up a level. The other thing is very important right now, what you can control. Watch this, watch this, watch this. You've got to control, watch this, your gratefulness quotient. Are you grateful for your clients? Are you grateful for your family? I'm telling you, gratefulness will get you a lot further than whinging, bitching, and complaining. Are you grateful? I walked outside today, couldn't get on my boat, but I walked outside and I was grateful for the view. I've got a home. Oh, we're going to work from home. Some of you have been trying to stay home for years. By the way, okay. Now, I mean, come on. I know me, I'm a people person. I don't want to be stuck in my home. But guess what? I'm going to make some money while I am at home. I'm going to use the human ingenuity, my human spirit to create a fortune, not whinge, not complain. I'm grateful for the gifts I've got. Next thing, you want to get over this thing and be a giver. Be a giver of great words. Listen, I love what Glenn spoke about. And you know, I just was at a conference with some real estate, some salon owners, and they're all complaining, oh, you know, the government's going to shut us down. I said, but what are you going to do when you hit the ground running? They're not going to be you're not going to be shut down forever. And by the way, they weren't shut down. The rumor just got out. Here's what I said to them. Are you preparing now to hit the ground running, or are you going to play catch up with those that I've taught? I'm preparing my agents right now. I'm preparing my beauty salon owners. I'm preparing my restaurant owners. I'm preparing people with incentives now that when the doors open, we're going to leave every competitor in the dust. This is the time you got to, if you give me can you give me a thumbs up or something if you agree with that, Glennie? Give me a better view of that face of yours, brother. Come on, you got to prepare now. You got to prepare now. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you. Give me a hell yeah. Thank you, Liz. You got to prepare now. I think, Glenn, we're preparing some incentives for them to use that are going to rock this world. Do you know what I'm telling you right now? The travel agencies might be decimated. Guess what? As soon as all this stuff's changed, they're going to be back in boom. They've got to start preparing, hit the ground running. Why do you think Virgin is still keeping your platinum status and everything else? Because they're preparing to hit the ground running. And yet I find agents that are not preparing to hit the ground running, they're sitting there sucking lemons. And I get you hurting, guys. I get you hurting. But you know when an artist does their greatest work? When they're in pain. When do you think John Lennon wrote the song Help? When he was drowning. When do you think Picasso did his greatest paintings? When he was in pain. You know this is your time. The next key, listen to me very, very quickly. Access the greats. Fools are available at any time. You've got to access great minds. Glenn is one of them. Glenn is one of them. Calvin, of course, you got to upgrade a great mindset. Listen, access great minds. Access great books. Access great podcasts. Listen, you want to learn something new? Go back to something they were teaching 50, 60 years ago. I'm telling you, the greats are still out there. Now, how do you access the greats? How do you access that right mindset? Well, you've got to decide what stream you're going to drink from. What are you going to drink from? Here's what I want to encourage you guys to do also. Listen, in this time, you've got a spare bit of time. Listen to me very carefully. I know Glenn will agree with me on that. This is primarily a real estate event. But why not develop a couple of other streams of income? Why not? Come on, an hour or two a week. You know what? I'm not really smart when it comes to trading, but I made an investment of a few $1,000s the other day, and the down market turned over $23,000 from something I never even knew. I mean, come on. You've got to start thinking, guys. This is my moment where I can, you've got a bit of downtime, great. Use it to build a stream of income. I'm not saying you're going to give up your real estate career because you are real estate professionals, but why can't you be a 6-string guitar rather than a 4-string ukulele? Come on. Why can't you be a 6-string guitar? Why can't you be a 12-string guitar? Develop multiple streams of income. And this is something I've always taught people. Thank you, Alex. You've got to develop multiple streams of income. Thank you, Monica, thank you so much. If you're relying on one stream, I'm telling you, crazy. When I teach wealth creation, I don't want you to just have property. I want you to have property. I want you to have shares. I want you to have online business. I want you to have offline business. I want you to have your books. I want you to have it all. I ain't got the time. Listen, Successful people learn to manage themselves, not time. Come on. This is, this is awesome. This is awesome. This is awesome, guys. Now, I want to encourage you guys, and this is one of my final 2 points when it comes to beliefs. Train your environment. What sound do you want? Train the environment of your mind. Train the environment of your energy level. Are you with me? Your energy level. Listen to me. Control that. Control that energy level. Don't do things and don't do pesky stuff or deal with difficult people when you're exhausted, emotionally upset. Don't do that. Train your energy. Put your best energy into your biggest returns. I love what Matt said last night about the clients he works with. Not everybody deserves the same amount of energy, and not everybody should qualify for the same amount of time. So train your environment, your office, your house, and train the environment of your phone, even from when you pick it up, from when you answer. Train the environment with facts and numbers, not emotion. If you deal in facts and numbers, watch this, but you are fueled by positive emotion, you'll win. Right now, you've got to face the process. There's a process. Yeah, Pat, the unknown. Look, there's always unknowns. You can't spend your life extinguishing your soul, your energy, and your mind on unknowns. Work in what you know. People are still dying. People are still divorcing. People are still buying. People are still selling. Where are they? Where are they? Find them. Give them incentives online. Find them. Get out there. Develop things that will help you do that. Now, what do I got to do through the process? Listen to me very carefully. Number one, get a plan. Get a daily plan, monthly plan, 3-week plan. Get a plan. Number two, pursue what you want. We're doing some renovations in my house. My wife said to me, should we just put them on hold? I said, are you kidding me? I'm not bound to that stuff. I'm not bound to that. I'm pursuing what I want while I'm processing what's going on. Number three, I'm going to enjoy the process. See, some of us are waiting for this to end rather than enjoying the process. What can I get out of this that's great? And what can I implement that's awesome? Then I've got to prepare. Maddie Steinway said it so well. Are you preparing your day? Are you preparing your moments? Are you preparing for your future? Are you preparing when you hit the ground running? Thank you, Jay. Thank you so much. Are you preparing now for your profits later? What are you preparing for? This will pass, and you know it will. Everyone knows it will. I don't know how, but when it does, I'm ready. My great mentor, Mr. Peter J. Dangles, who changed my life. That man, I went and invested $1,500. When I was so broke, I went to Kentucky Fried Chicken to lick everybody else's fingers. That's how broke I was. And listen to me. I was earning $70 a week as a youth minister. He had a pack called the Destiny Pack. It was $1,500, $1,500. I ran to the back of the room so fast, I would have beaten Usain Bolt in the sprint. And with my size legs, it would have been going 3 times as fast. I invested $1,500 US. I didn't have the heart to tell my wife at the time. That was nearly all my salary. That man was one of the smartest real estate minds, by the way, in South Australia, multi-million-dollar. Now he's a billionaire. That man became my mentor, my incredible mentor, and I own one of the most effective real estate companies in South Australia. Worked with W. Clement Stone, Norman Vincent Peale, some of the greats. And if you stick around for me to the end, I'm going to give some of Mr. Peter Dangles' 6 best-selling books to every one of you that works with us. Listen to me very carefully. You can't buy those books. Let me tell you, you can't buy those books. You can only get them right here. Now listen to me very carefully. You got to plan, you got to pursue, you got to prepare, you got to prepare for the profits. Now, here's the difference of where people are. The broke mind is lining up stockpiling toilet paper. The millionaire agent mind, you know what they're doing? Listen to me. You know what your millionaire agent's doing? They're buying assets. They're preparing for the future. They're creating incentives. They're not at the. I went down to Dan Murphy's the other day to get a couple of bottles of wine. I was unbelievably taken back by what I could see people stockpiling grog. Yet if they took that thing and put it into their mind, and put it into a business, what they could do. Are you stockpiling assets for the future? Listen, are you still dreaming? Now, I'm coming to my last point, and then I want to do something very, very special. And I wrote this today. I can't change your life until you decide what voices you choose to believe. Glenn can't change your life unless you decide what voice you choose to believe. The stream you drink from is a stream that's going to come out of you. You're drinking polluted water. Come on, you get this. Come on, you get what I'm talking about. Come on, if you get it, say I get it. Type in I get it. Come on, hang with me. Give me 10 more minutes and we're nearly done. Hang in there and tell me I get it. Say I get it. Come on, thank you, Holly. Thank you, Justina. Say I get it. I can't. Do you realize? Come on, keep typing in. I want to see every single one, the hundreds that are in there. Come on, if I was in a meeting, I'd be getting you to raise your hand, but I can't do that right now. And I'm moving. I'm sitting still. Belief, sales, negotiations, listings. Listen to me. Don't miss this. I want to say it again. Belief, listings, sales, belief is all voice activated. Now, that voice can be online, that voice can be on social media, but it's a voice. And I can't change your life, and Glenn can't change your life until you change the frequency of the voices. Right now, you've got to tune in to what is being said. Good stuff. Then you got to tune out. You got to tune in, you got to tune out, and you got to tune up. Voices. Listen to me very carefully, guys. I need you to hear this because I feel this strong in my heart, and I'm a feeler guy. You know, listen to me. You want to listen to voices, not echoes. Glenn's a voice. Respectfully, I say I'm a voice. There's some great voices out there, and there's a lot of echoes out there. You know, I go to Tony Robbins, and I love Tony. He's a great mate of mine, worked with him over the years. And I hear all these guys, they're echoes of Tony Robbins. I'm not here to impress you, but to impress upon you. Can you just get some original stuff, please? They're echoes, they're not voices. Now, Tony's impacts because he's a voice. You have to be a voice in your clients. You have to be the master skillsman of negotiation. Listen to me. For your clients, you've got to be the navigator. You've got to be the collaborator. You've got to be the innovator. You're going to have to be the companion. You're going to have to be the connector and the energizer. Listen to me. The navigator through these times, the collaborator, getting to work with people, the innovator, showing them different things in different ways, the companion, helping them see them through, holding them by the hand. You're going to have to be the connector, connecting them with things like social media, new marketing skills. Okay, are you with me? Listen to me. And you're going to have to be the energizer. If you don't want to be the energizer to people, you're going to lose it, guys. You've got to be the energizer. Now, all of you in this room have to be a voice and you have to be an energizer. I really believe many of you can mentor people through this crisis. Voices in your head, voices in your ears, voices in your mind. Now, Glenn, I'm going to need your help in a minute. If you could help me here.
Come on.
You see, a lot of people talk ideas, and I know out there's a lot of people and everyone's got different opinions, but I actually have learnt not to worship at the shrine of other people's opinions. I really want to be a voice, and again, I'm going to make an offer there for you. People go, oh, here it is, a sell. This is why you're not selling, because of that attitude. This is why you're not getting clients, because at the moment when we should be learning and engaging, we switch off. And quite frankly, I'm not here to sell you anything, because this morning, I did very well this morning before many of us were up. And I'm not saying that in an arrogant way. I'm saying it because I want to shock you guys and create something in you for the long haul. And I want to be a voice. And I want to be a voice to you. I want to help you collaborate. I want to help you navigate. I want to help you find some companionship. And I don't want to let this just be for you guys. I want to be available to you guys and your family. Now, it's called the Ultimate 2020 Bulletproof Mindset. It says valued at 3,695. Well, it's valued a lot more than that. It's a 100% proven system. I've used this for 3 decades, and it's about changing your financial direction. Right now, obviously, we're limited by what we can do. If we could have had a meeting, I would. But listen to me very carefully. I want to speak to you as a dad. Listen to me very carefully. Number one, I'm going to teach you the irrefutable laws of money, how to make it. I'm going to show you the 8 vital associations, that bit about the navigator, the collaborator, how you can implement that. Right now, I know some of you financially, it's tough. I'm going to show you how to financially recover and accelerate and master your influence and your persuasion skills. Right now, you need to learn new skills. We're going to help you develop a prosperity mindset and break the poverty mindset. We're going to get out of the shelves in the supermarkets and start learning to buy some assets, become more creative, to engage your mind, emotions, and actions to effectively prosper. Here's what you're going to learn. I'm going to help you guys. We're going to work together. Listen to me very carefully. This is not just a bunch of goodies online. Listen very carefully. We're going to break the cycle of lack and unleash abundance. And I'm going to work with you personally. Just hang on to that thought. We're going to establish prosperity consciousness. We're going to harness the power of focus. There's a lot of things right now vying for it, guys and girls, and we've got to get you focused. Can someone type in focus there for me? We're going to also help you break the subconscious cycle of poverty that's plaguing our culture right now. And we're also going to help you guys, establish a great level of self-worth and net worth. I want to help you guys not just focus, but I want to help you get some money in the bank. This is not just going to be motivational. Look, I don't need to motivate you. I need to help you guys shift mindset right now. Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Marie. Thank you, James. Thank you, all of you. Thank you. Glenn, if you could go to the next slide for me. Is 2020 a real estate event for you? Well, how many of you have had people make you feel bad about what you want to deserve in life? You want to create more wealth. Everyone's going, oh, can't you see there's a virus going on right now? Have you made bad decisions in your real estate career? Do you think that's going to change? Are you still making them? Have you blamed others? Are you blaming the environment, the economy, the government? Are you blaming the coronavirus? Do you want to become a listing and selling machine? I want you to be masters of this. And you want to let go of the past and leave your competitors in the dust. Listen, you don't have that mindset, you're going to be lost. I'm going to show you how I generated I've created more first-generation millionaires than anyone else. The psychology of what makes $1 million agent. How I generated 2.1 million in 90 minutes. How I can create $250,000 a year without leaving my home. And no, it's not Amway. Please don't be offended if you're an Amway distributor. And how to generate multiple streams of income and increase your lifestyle. Can I go to the next slide, please, Glenn? Does this strategy work? Well, just have a look around you, folks. I've never paid for any of these photos. Up there with Arnold Schwarzenegger, 4 tours. Mentored Mike Tyson through some seasons in his life when he was over here. Glenn Shorrock is up there and helped me with my charities. There's beautiful Katy Perry. I know Katy because there's her parents up there, and they've been people that we've mentored over the years. And Richard Branson done many things with Richard over the years, including raising money for his charity. Mr. Canturi over there from Canturi Jewelers. This is a jeweler of Moulin Rouge, Katy Perry, Oprah Winfrey, and some of the greats. If you want to live a life of peace and tranquility, if you want to live a life and get through this thing with relative ease, yes, you're going to have some bumps in the road, but I want you to be like a sunrise or a sunset. I want to help you create your ultimate lifestyle, guys, through this season. Here's the deal. I really only want to work with agents who want to succeed, and failure is not an option. If you want to fail, I can't help you. I want to help people get their finances together, get their knowledge together, and go to the next level. I also want to be a personal mentor to you. I'm going to give you these amazing best-selling programs. Here they are. Here's what I'm going to give you. We're going to give you my University of Success, valued at $1,497. I've got photos of Glenn hugging this thing. This is my life work. Oh, there it is. There it is. This is my life work. 42 years. It's got audio books. It's got teachers on how to be a successful salesperson, how to be a great leader, how to create environments around you. Well, it's got about 50 audio programs. You can download these and just spread them out, guys. Download them. Let's spread this message. And I'm also going to give you my Living the Dream. It's time we keep dreaming. In this Living the Dream, the 2 audio programs of Mr. Peter J. Daniels, where Tony Robbins paid him $250,000 to speak on goal setting and what makes a great. This is what Tony Robbins paid him. They're on this. This was a 3-day event. I'm giving you the entire audio and the video. This is my Mind to Succeed DVD curriculum that I did with agents for the last 15 years. It's interactive. Normally, it sells at $497. Actually sells for a lot more than that, but it's interactive, guys. And I know you may have these, but hang on. I've got something that you don't have. Then Glenn has, we're going to give you our Real Estate Millionaire Mindset Club, a year's worth of modules, including action tracks on how to stay positive, how to live and navigate these areas. It's over $1,000 value. I think that's what people paid for anyway. Am I right, Glenn?
It was 97 a month when we did it.
That's
and
right.
And not like I didn't have time to put this slide together because Pat, we only added this today. What we didn't put on here is the mentors that you paid for to have as part of this. I mean, it is a who's freaking who in this program.
Massive people. They've got Dennis Waitley, Bob Brock. I mean, you got a stack of them there. And guys, here's a couple of other things we're going to do. So we're give you my great volumes, but also we're going to, this you can't buy.
And Pat, I have a problem with this because I paid more and I never got anywhere near this.
No, I remember you paid $3,997 for the entire pack.
Correct.
And here's the one thing I'm giving you. Look, the thing that I value the most is my time and my personal space. But in these times when real estate has been good to me, and Glenn's like a son to me, and I mean that. I don't say that as anything degrading. And here's what I want to do. I'm going to gift you something that only my 50,000 students, and I got one of them, David Lee's right out there, who's helped me tonight get on this Zoom call. I'm going to give you my personal phone number. No one gets this. I hope, I don't know, if anyone thinks it's a good idea, can you give me oh, hell yeah. I'm going to give you my personal number. It's not going to be a weekly coaching. You call me when you need me. You call me, if you're interested in this, give me a hell yeah. My $50,000 clients get this. Glenn, I know you know, if you get my personal.
I have it now, but I never had it when I was a student.
Sorry, Glenn.
I'm just saying I have it now and I'm honoured to do so.
Yeah.
I never had it when I was a student because you don't get
this. It's not $50,000. Give me what you guys don't. Please don't switch off. For the love of God, don't switch off right now. You're going to get my personal phone number. I don't care whether you're going through marriage problems. Your kids are going through some stress. I want to coach you through the crisis. Now, if you call me every 5 minutes, you're not listening. I'm going to give you my personal phone number. You text me. I will get back to you by the end of the day. I don't care. Well, I'm not traveling anywhere, so I was going to say normally wherever I am in the world. This is my world. Listen to me. You get my personal phone number. No weekly coaching. You call me when you need me. I want to make that very clear. I want to be a father and I want to be a brother. And here's what you're going to get. You're going to get the module, the University of Success, Living the Dream, Mind to Succeed, Real Estate Millionaire Mindset Club. That's the over $3,500. Then on top of that, you're going to get, what's this? My personal phone number to call me anytime. And all your investments today is $997. That's it. Or if you want to do payment plans, there's 3 payments of $3,997. Now, I'm only going to open this up for about 15 people. The more, Luke, if you think this is a joke, mate, there is more that's going to rock your world. My time is valuable. And, you know, I'm doing this for Glenn. I'm doing this because I love real estate. I'm tired because I'm sick and tired of the bullshit out there right now. And here's what we're going to do. Listen to me very carefully. What we're going to do, guys, for today only, and I've asked Glenn to throw this on there for me. I
just had to adjust that, Pat, because I had a look at the website. They did actually make it $350, so it's not $397.
Okay, I don't really care.
It's cheap.
$350.
So anyway,
whatever. Here's what we're going to give.
That's the URL: MEsiti.com/order.
Okay,
MEsiti.com/
www.mesiti.com/order. MEsiti.com/order. Now wait till you see a couple of other things we're throwing in there. I am giving you the entire library of books by my mentor, Mr. Peter J. Daniels. Every one of his 6 or 9 bestsellers, we're going to give you his entire library of work. This is ridiculous. Plus, on top of that, for those of you that pay in full, right? If you pay on payment plan, you get the phone number and you get the 4 or 5 curriculums. If you pay in full $997, I'm going to give you my entire life's work of over 30 years. Everything I've mentioned before and then everything you see right here. It's over $8,000 of personal development, leadership, sales, marketing strategies. Now you've got to go to www.MEsiti.com/order. You also get my phone number. We're going to send this to you on a downloadable format, guys. If you pay in full, $997, you get the entire library of all my life's work. You get Mr. Daniel's books as well as everything I've done over the last 30 years. Glenn, I know you spent over $25,000, $30,000 with us. And plus, you're going to get, for every one of you, whether you do a payment plan or you pay in full, you get a 1 day with Glenn and I. When the borders open, you're going to get a 1 day training with me and Glenn, and also a group of experts. There's the link, guys, MEsiti.com/order. I don't know how to gift it better. The one thing I'm giving away, which is my phone number, and it's only available once you pay and you register. Now, whether you pay in full or whether you do payment plan, you get that. Good to see Chris Gilmore on thing here. Chris, you're a champion, mate. So, guys, you're going to get a ticket to the Purpose Tour. You're going to get all my work of the last 30 years. You're going to get my phone number. I don't know what more to offer you guys. My $50,000 clients get that, and only my family and personal friends. Glenn, I'm honoured to have been on this, mate. Thank you for giving me the time tonight. And I don't want to push too hard with the sales. Look, if people want it, you want it. If you don't want it, and yes, you do need to do, Trevor. You do need to do this. Come on. If I could just get, because I want to allocate my time. Those of you that are keen, can you just give me a yeah or something up there, so we at least we know? Yeah. Let me see. If you're keen, say yep. Don't let the naysayers stop you, guys. This is yours if you want it. And I'm keen to be working with you. As soon as you make your payment, you text me, and Naomi will give you my number. We'll get cranking. We'll get working. I want to navigate you through the crisis. Now you'll get that number there. And obviously, once you got it for life. I want to talk to you about real things. If you just call me about the weather, look, I can get an app for that, guys.
Let me add this, Pat. Let me add this. This 21-day challenge. This 21-day challenge. My son's on here tonight, Calvin, who I brought to your house. My son is on here. I gave him this, and I just said, on top of his schoolwork, do that. And I tell you what, it's an amazing. I mean, some of the things Calvin's done. They skipped him a year at high school. They skipped him a year at school. He bought his own PlayStation 3 with money that he spent with him and his siblings selling soap. And like he's been on here tonight, sort of, he's a teenager now, so he's a bit of a larrikin. But this is the stuff that's good enough for me to give to my child. Yep. Like, I can't give a better endorsement than that.
Yeah. Now, guys, people are asking, can you go online and do it now? Absolutely, because, look, I can't take everybody. There's hundreds of you on the phone call. So if you want to make money, I've got a few other surprises we're going to give you as well. But there's the link, MEsiti.com/order. Put your $997 down because, why don't you give it away for free? Listen, in the absence of value, you're always going to argue cost. In the absence of value, you'll always argue cost. And look, I wouldn't be waiting until tomorrow, guys. Look, take action now. As I said, can't take everybody, but I can take somebody. And there's only 24 hours in a day. And as I said to you, you text me. There's no lock-in period of coaching calls. I don't work that way. You call me. I don't answer to a boss. I do answer to my wife, but and Naomi. But those of you that are in, would you get out there? And yes, thank you so much, Ali. It is ridiculously fantastic value, and that's what I want to bring. Real estate's been good to me, and so have you guys out there. And Margaret, love to have you on there. I know you already got that, Margaret, but you can't get me on the phone, and you can't get everything. I don't know any one of you that's got everything. I know you've got some things, but you don't have Peter Daniel's books. You don't have the entire library, and I won't speak to you. You can try and inbox me. I will double check. If you are one of these that paid, my time is for those that want to invest and grow. and we've got some other surprises which I can't talk about right now.
Well, and but that millionaire mindset, I mean, that's a module every month and an action track every month of me and Pat listening and learning to someone like a Jim Rohn or a Dennis Waitley or a legend, and then me and Pat break down the principles of what they say and give you the takeaway actions every single month. So I locked Pat up for a day and a half in a hotel room, and we churned it out, you know. So you will be stuck with us. You will not be wanting for lessons. And then if you have any confusion and questions, you text Pat. I've never seen you offer that before, Pat, and you definitely haven't offered that at a couple $100 a month for a few months.
My business partner, Steve Esther, thought I was crazy. And I don't. My wife out there. If I bought my wife, I told my wife, she's out there. She's probably waiting for me to have dinner. But my wife said, "Don't give away everything, because then there's nothing left to give." And I figured, look, for me, and look, you're all salespeople. I want to give you an unbelievable offer, and you know, it's going to change your life. But here's what I want you to do. There's my wife right here. I just gave away everything. All our volumes. So she's there.
Are you in trouble? And Tanya, the answer is yes. Tanya, the answer is yes.
Go
Tanya.
there now. Just come over here, babe. Just come here and say hi to everyone. And this is my amazing wife, Christine. She is awesome. She's pretty. She runs the business. And I snuck that slide in. She didn't know I did this. But thank you, Rodney. Thank you, Rodney. Thank you, Anton. Thank you, all of you. Look, please get on there now. And register for this. Look, you know, we can only take a certain amount of people. And well done, Michelle. Well done, Michelle. And I want to talk to you on the phone. I know Naomi tomorrow will start giving out, once you've paid, give out the phone number. Thank you, Buck. Thank you.
And you'll be added to a private group. And like I said, when because a couple of guys are asking about how much of me you're going to get. Well, you don't need me in this, but you're going to get enough of me that you'll be sick of me. And you do get all
12 months of you.
Well, that's it. There's 12 months of me in that group, and that group I pay particular attention to, and I look after as to the best of my ability. But what I would sort of recommend is, sure, we'll work on implementation of what to do, but get this stuff from Pat. While you've got Pat in your corner, you just can't get that anywhere else. So it's a great opportunity to get one of the best in your corner.
And by the way, wherever you are, whether you're Australia, New Zealand, wherever it is, you'll get all this stuff, guys. And yes, I will call you even if you're in New Zealand. There's no social distancing on the phone. And that's how I do my best work on the phone or FaceTime or whatever. Glenn, thanks so much, mate. You're doing a great work. You're a general, mate. You're a general. And you are the greatest student I have ever had.
Oh
and
God.
I say that because
stop it. You've had everyone. You've had so many bloody students. Oh my God.
But you know what you do? You implement. You're a master at it, mate. And look at me. I know it's what I love about you, mate, is I see you up in the morning. I watch what you do, and you're not doing this for the buck. I can tell you that much. And here's the thing: if people think I need $997, I wouldn't drive out my driveway for that. But I'll tell you what I would do: I'd throw out a lifeline to people. And I want to thank you for what you're doing, not just for real estate. And I know you find this awkward, but I want you to stay on this for a minute.
Very.
I want to thank you for what you're doing for families and what you're doing for husbands and wives out there and kids, because you're keeping oxygen in people's soul, mate. And people, you will never get out of money what you can only get out of relationship. So hang on to this guy's coattails.
Thanks, man.
All
It's
right.
been a while. Thank you, Pat.
Love you, mate.
And you could have done an offer like this maybe 20 years ago or 15 years ago. Anyway, it's all good, mate. In these sorts of times, mate, I appreciate it, because Pat did say what would be the ultimate offer earlier to me today, like 5 a.m. I said, well, mate, that library I've got, because I've got all of that stuff that I paid like $4,000 for. So I've got all of those programs, but the difference is they haven't just sat on the shelf with me. They got into my CD player. They got into my son's bedroom in recent years. You know what I mean? They got used.
That is
What's the
amazing,
difference?
your son. That touched my life when he came. He got me to sign that. And he
Oh, he
sat in
did. He
that
brought
meeting.
it to.
He brought that meeting. And he goes, I just sat in a multi-million-dollar meeting. That was awesome.
That's right. He did. I forgot about that. He brought the program I gave him down when I met Pat for Pat to sign. That was pretty cool. That was pretty
All right,
cool.
Glenn. Well,
All right, thank you, Pat.
I'll take questions when they call me. Is that all right?
Cool, my man. Appreciate it, buddy.
Hey, appreciate it, guys. And we've got some surprises. So, hey, come back tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's going to be awesome. Listen, get on the phone to people and help them. Now, Glenn, whatever you want to do with this offer, I'm going to let you decide. It's yours. You created it. I'm gonna go.
You're gonna go explain yourself. All right, Pat. Thank you, my friend.
You'll be fine. But God bless everybody, and thank you so much.
All right, my man. Thank you, Pat. Appreciate it. All right, gang. So there's Mr. Pasquale MEsiti, best-selling author, and again, my first mentor in this space. And yeah, I'm honoured to have had him. I did notice Chris jump on, but he's jumped off again. He because he's already got my my mindset kind of stuff, where I added Chris to the Millionaire Mindset Club some years ago, a year ago or so. Alrighty, so Carolina says, still so generous, Pat, and such energy. We've never forgotten your story of gifting one of your ties to someone who admired it. I've done similar on many occasions as a result of that story. Well done, Carolina, me too. Yeah, I love sort of blowing people's mind. In fact, I haven't got them on me. In fact, you'd be embarrassed if you saw, yes, I've got a jacket on, but I'm wearing shorts down here. But I mentioned to a fellow a pair of shoes over in New Zealand. At a conference that I was speaking at. And no, he was a New Zealander, but we were speaking at a conference in Southeast Queensland. And I said, wow, nice shoes, man. He told me a little bit about them. And like 2 weeks later, a package arrived at my office, not with the shoes he was wearing, but I don't even know how he knew my size. He must have just sized me up somehow. He sent me a pair of identical shoes with a note saying, these are the last pair of these shoes in New Zealand, handmade, told me where they were from. My gift to you, thanks for that speech. I'm like, whoa. So same thing that Carolina, you're talking about there, that it seems Pat did some time ago that impacted you, and then you've gone and done that. Similarly, I've been the recipient of that sort of thinking. It's a great way to think, is how can we blow this person's mind? Let me give you a story on that similar note. Matt Steinway, who you guys met last night. Matt referred me a student who ended up paying me $3,000 for my coaching once, right? So it was nice. Matt just said, you're going to go learn with Twids. He's awesome. And this person said, if Matt said, oh, I've got to train with you, I've got to train with you. And they bought my $3,000 a year-long program. So I wanted to give Matt a thanks. But how do you thank a guy who at the time does millions, nowadays does $4 million a year? How do you say thanks to that guy? Because he buys everything he wants, and he's a pretty simple guy that isn't very material. So how do you say thanks? So at the time, I knew that his 1-year-old daughter, Flora, loved Dora the Explorer. So having had a young girl myself who was a little bit older, but I went through the Dora phase. I went out and I spent on the Sunshine Coast in Southeast Queensland. I spent half a day buying every piece of Dora toy that every toy store on the Sunshine Coast had. I filled up a laundry basket full of Dora stuff, wrapped it up in cellophane, had it shipped to his office. Now, Matt was so embarrassed because he's worse than me at accepting compliments, right? And accepting thanks. But I sent it to his office so that everyone in his office would say, what's with the Dora stuff? He go, oh, it's Twids being an idiot, my daughter, blah, blah, blah. You want to know how to say thanks to a Matt Steinway? Put a smile on his 1-year-old daughter's face, bigger than she's ever seen, by giving her the biggest Dora the Explorer pack in the history of Dora the Explorer packs. So that's the same lesson there, Carolina, that you talk about, is you say thanks by knowing the person and just thinking a little bit about what might mean something to them. Then you probably don't have to spend as much money. I know there was a fellow who was telling me that his settlement gift present and his buyer, so his seller and buyer, when they settle, was a $500 Bunnings voucher for the buyer and a $500 Bunnings voucher for the seller. And so I had to go in and do the training system that I call Don't Give Sucky Gifts. And the crux of it is a voucher, whilst it's better than nothing, because remember, all the properties I've bought, I've got virtually nothing. I've gotten one gift ever. It was a Magnum bottle of champagne. It's one of those big ones. Once, out of all the properties I've ever bought, one Magnum bottle of champagne for a property I bought up in Gympie. And guess what? The seller left it for me. Wasn't from the agent. The seller left it for me as the buyer. And because I'm from Brisbane and the property was up in Gympie, I just gave it to the property managers. So I've never really gotten anything. And so a $500 Bunnings gift voucher, buyer and seller, is pretty good. But here's the challenge with that. The gift voucher is the thing that severs the emotional connection from the gift. See, if I'd have given Matt a $150 Toys R Us voucher and said, go get some Dora stuff for Flora, he'd have been, thanks, mate. Nice. You know what I mean? If that fellow had have gotten me a shoe voucher from the local Payless Shoes and said, hey, go get those shoes. They're down at the local shoe shop. I mean, I certainly wouldn't be telling you the story about the day I got a shoe voucher. It was the action of taking the gift that meant something that touched the heart, you know? I mean, what's Pat say? Pat's got this saying. I don't know if he said it on that training when I nipped out and got a drink. I didn't hear him say it, but he says, shift this, touch this, and you get this. Right? So you shift your head and start thinking in ways like this, touch someone's heart a little bit, and you're going to do all right financially. So certainly, you know, that's the kind of, you know, the principle that we might have talked about. So so let's sort of finish off tonight by checking in. And Gnomes, if you could sort of give me, if you could, a little update on our lead generation. So let me just bring up the slideshow. And I'm just going to bring up, there she is, Naomi, update 3. I'm liking this. Okay, so you know what? I'll bring this over onto this screen and then I will share my screen. Wait a minute. Where's my screen share? I made that mistake before, didn't I? Where's my darn screen share? There it is, share. Okay, here is my WhatsApp. So this is an update where we had one extra lead, because remember that said 22 when last we left there. Oh, there you go. So at the moment we're at 24. So at the moment, our lead generation, the one topic in our 4-part training that we haven't covered yet. So we've covered a little bit of category 1, which is what we do for a living. So in this case, for real estate, it's listings. Category 2, which is proof. So that's video sold flyers, graphical sold flyers, evidence and proof that you are amazing. All right, that's category 2. Category 3, that you're real, you're authentic, you're a human. And we went through a masterclass with that yesterday. We sort of covered off on a few contests and a few ideas in that space here tonight. And category 4 is generating leads. And so as you can see, what we're going to get to tomorrow in great detail is how within 24 hours, so tomorrow 48 hours, we've generated at least 20, well, at most 22 leads, because in that 22, there might be another agent or two being sneaky. But let's just say that 4 of them are agents and 20 of them are genuine sellers in a day in various suburbs where I do not have a single piece of branding. And there are agents in each of these suburbs that should be kicking themselves, you guys included. Why is it that 5 people up in your area, Michelle, didn't go to yourself and didn't even go to you, who's you're playing up there, and that's good. We need to get it so that that is impossible. We need to get it so that you are so dominant with your marketing, anyone who sees an ad that some no-name like me runs in your area, they just go, no, I'm good. I've got Luke to do that for me, kind of thing, you know? So that's what we want. The fact that this is possible means there's still air for you to improve your lead generation game. Because if we can generate in Ben's areas 3 leads at, what's 4 6s, 24, so $8 a lead in Warragul. $12 a lead in wherever that is. That's up probably near Michelle. So look at that. Between 4610 and 4655, there's 7 appraisal leads that have come in at maybe an average of, $8 a lead. This is crazy talk. So we're going to go into tomorrow in depth exactly how we've done that and what ads we ran, what copy we ran, and all of the above. So that's tomorrow night. Now, Tanya has said, do you do this in Auckland? We can. I don't know if we are at the moment, Tanya, but talk to Naomi about whether we are. But Absolutely, we can. We've got some New Zealand clients. I just don't know if we've got, and Auckland's a big place as well. We don't take on competing agents when we're doing this. If your area is, this part of Auckland and North Auckland or whatever the case may be, we make sure that our targeting never overlaps, right? Because I don't want my own ads competing against me. So we only ever take on one client in one area. So talk to Naomi if you want us to do that for you guys on a regular basis. Michelle is saying 4610 is Kingaroy. So it's a little bit out of town than you guys. So, yeah. So, so Tanya, just have a chat to Naomi. But when you're saying what's the cost, well, it depends on how much you want us to do for you. Many of our clients have us do telemarketing because they hate it. And I understand because I used to do it and I hated it. Telemarketing, we pay the wages of the telemarketer. Facebook advertising, and we pay for the Facebook ads, and we pay for the person, my staff members, to run it and to email it to you and to frankly just do everything and just hand you the leads for you to do. And we train you on what to do with them when you get them. So, but again, I'm not here to pitch that or anything, but if you do want to have a chat to Naomi, and she can run you through how it all works, and it's cheap. It'll be cheaper than you doing it yourself. That's the promise I make. It'll be cheaper than you hiring the people to do it yourself. How do I know that? Because when I was a principal licensee and a sales manager, I used to hire the prospectors to do it. And I know that we never got the results anywhere near what we're getting now because we didn't have the skills back then. All we knew was how to make a cold call. Naomi's email. So Tanya, you should find it. Naomi@glenntwiddle.com.au. But if you just Google her, you'll find it. Or PM her on Facebook, no problem. So Marie, same thing. And your question before, Marie, now that Pat's gone, if you're asking about whether that deal could be tomorrow, just give Naomi a yell and she'll talk Pat into it. Because, look, he likes to reward action takers, but I also like to understand that if someone's got to, run it by a partner or you're going to get divorced, I get that. Get the decision made before you do it, and then contact me tomorrow, and we'll work it out for sure. Tag your Facebook ads patches onto Pat's deal. It'll have to be a bit more expensive than that, Paul, because it costs a fair bit in the staff. That's the main thing you're covering off on my expenses on when we do it for you. It's the staff, bloody staff hours. Even in a Corona world, that's the expensive bit. Bloody people, hey? Anyway. So be it. But I tell you what, Pat's program along with me will help you to get your headspace right so you can implement these things, so you can go hard, All right, so tomorrow, let's have a little yarn about, let me just bring up my slides and see if I covered off and everything today. By the way, if you've got any questions about tonight, I'm going to just go to my Q&A now after I check whether we are sweet with the content that I had planned for tonight. I will show you just a quick snapshot of what we'll be covering tomorrow night. We're going to go through way more than this, but what we're going to go through tomorrow night, among many other things, is these ads. So what the principles are behind the copywriting of these ads. We're going to go through specifically what the forms are that we're asking for. So these drop-down menus that when these people give us their name, their email, their phone number, and the suburb, we added another field. They're saying what suburb their property is in, and then they're answering to this multiple choice question. Now tell me you're seeing my screen. You're not seeing my screen, are you? Damn it. Geez, I've got to get better at that. Oh, my God. Okay, so we're going to go through the ads. We're going to go through the copy. We're going to go through these forms. I've done it again. I know, Alex. Thank you, my man. All right, we're going to go through all the different ads, why some of them work, why some of them, like this one, get complaints and leads. It always works and it always gets leads, but it always gets complaints. Why? Because this gets attention and people go, oh, nuclear wars, no sales, whatever. But it gets leads. All these different ones. I know this one here, Luke, doing great guns with this one. Luke Walker, who is on here tonight, gets the Ad of the Year award because this one here is working a lot, doing real well. This one here got 5 leads at $12 per lead, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to take you through all the various ads tomorrow, as well as, if you remember, we talked about it earlier. Tomorrow, we have got 2 major things, and then we were going to segue to Q&A. 2 major modules, my lead generation ads class. these guys' business and systems masterclass, where they're going to take you through the systemization and the outsourcing principles, including your CMA, not CMA, your CRM, how to set that up, how to get these things so that when you generate a lead, you stay in touch with it long term so you don't let that lead slip through the cracks, and many other business and systems to get systemized in your marketplace. And the promise of the most lucrative, in my opinion, the most lucrative attraction and conversion weapon I have ever seen in 20 years of doing this. We will go through that in brutal detail tomorrow night. Tonight, we've been going for a couple of hours, nearly 3. What do you guys got on the Q&A? Oh, Naomi's been answering all the questions. Okay. Thank you, Gnomes. All right, if you got any questions, put them in the chat and or in the Q&A section. I will start with the Q&A section now if you want to chuck them in there, and if you've got any questions of me. So first off, Curtis saying, if we want to take advantage of our advertising, who do we get in touch with? So we've answered that. That's Naomi. Mate, do you have the address in your lead form? The answer is no, we don't, Luke. We experimented with this ad set by just adding in the suburb, right? In the lead form where we ask for name, email address, phone number, and by the way, are you thinking of moving in the next whatever? Yes, no, or maybe. We added in what suburb is your property in, because here's the principle. The more fields you ask them to fill in, you drop by about 10% per field, right? So I don't want to add the address in because I want to get the lead so that even if they, I want them in first. I want to two-step them. I was even a bit, not cranky at Naomi, but I was even saying, oh, do we really want the suburb in there? Because it'll drop the percentage of opt-in, means it raises the price per lead. I'm happy with their name, email address, and phone number so I can just follow them up. Look at what I've done to some of you guys. Just in the comments there. How often and for how long have I been emailing you, texting you, sending you mailing pieces, shoving my stuff into your news feed on social media, faxing you, voice broadcasting you? How long and how often have I been doing that? Lee said too long. Ages, 24 hours a day. 8 years, Trina says. Forever. Not enough, Glenn, Luke says. Beautiful, my man. Bloody heaps. Forever. So that's the point. All I want is their contact details so you can do to them what I did to you, because I bet you a bunch of you thought I was an idiot when you first met me. Well, guess what? They think you're an idiot now. Your job is to do to them what I did to you, and that's wear you down so you sit and listen to me and some friends of mine for 3 hours. When you're in the middle of possibly your most fearful portion of your adult life, you're giving me your attention for 3 hours when you originally thought I was an idiot. How is that possible? Because I wore you down and I was there for all that time. That's how. And they think of you the same way you thought of me when you first came across me. They don't know you, and they probably, because of the thing you do for a living, they probably don't like you too much. Your job is to wear them down. All right, so that's the question there. And that's what's in store tomorrow night. Alex Hall, I'm sorry, what is the VPA formula? Facebook ads. So Alex is talking about the VPA, that's the seller marketing investment, the vendor paid advertising, how much to put and point at the correct. Now, remember, you've got to get the correct audience. It's got to be geographically targeted at your audience. So wherever your buyers come from and the correct age group that your buyers and even your sellers come from, because we want your sellers to see this as well. And it's once you've got your audience targeting right, we started at $10 a day for either 2 or 3 weeks. So that means $140 or $210 in VPA would do the job. So $10 a day for 2 weeks is $140. $10 a day for 3 weeks is $210. So it covers the first 2 or 3 opens. What I'd recommend is bank it up to sort of 15 a day now, because Facebook is getting more competitive. More people are using it. You're just getting a little bit less bang for your buck, but still $15 a day is nothing. Like $200 compared to your $1,500, upgrade on REA and that. Get the extra, $200 to put for $15 a day for 2 or 3 weeks to the right audience. on your Facebook. And Alex, you know, as a client of mine, you know what the audience is. And if you need that module resent to you, Mr. Hall, you know, reach out to Naomi and she'll have that module for how to get your audience set up and targeted in a heartbeat. And for any of you guys who did get the VIP tickets to this training, me and you are going to do a Pimp My Social session, and we're going to get your audience set up. We're going to pimp daddy out your Facebook brand so it looks $1 million. And while at the same time, we're going to set up your audiences so you're going to be sweet in that capacity. So very cool. All right, so that's the Q&A done. Now, anonymous attendee. I don't like anonymous attendees, but the anonymous attendee says, what do you do when a homeless person asks you for money and I give it? And if I can afford it, if I've got it on me, yeah, I don't know if that's the best question in the world, but yeah, for me, I give it. Some people tithe 10% of their income, you know, so that's really not one for me to say, because my advice is probably not what you should do. It's what do you want to do, you know? Yeah, so for me, I'll give it if I got it, you know, because I know I'm living a blessed life, and, you know, it's crazy that I get to live the life that I live. So Trina says, Naomi, can we just get you guys to set up our audiences? Yeah, so Trina, have a chat to Gnomes, and absolutely. Absolutely. Cool. All right, let's go to the chat and let's see if there was any more questions. Oh, there's a bunch. Okay, here we go. I'll go to the top, and maybe Naomi can go get me a ice water if she knows what I mean. And I'll go through these. All right. Trev says, love Gimpy. I use a gift basket with local produce. They can at least have a snack on their first night in their new home. Very, very cool, Trev. How can I get now? Which Trevor is that? Is that Trevor that I know? Trevor Scott. Okay. Trevor, just because you're a bloody champion, I'm going to get you a copy of my my training on that Don't Give Sucky Gifts training, where I talk about great, like unbeatable. In fact, we call it our Make Buyers Cry system. Where it does include the kind of thing that you're doing there, that at least they can have a snack on the first night in their new home. It's a full-on thing that is so emotionally moving. On 2 occasions now, I've had it reported to me that clients who've implemented this system have had buyers in tears with how thoughtful it is. Because you think about it, on the day you move in, you got no food, you got no dunny roll, you got bloody, you got nothing. And, so yeah, that's part of it. So Trev, I'm going to get you that Make Buyers Cry system from my full program. So Naomi, are you listening to this at all? Gnomes? Can you just note that and remember that I made that promise? Thank you. She's a good woman, that one. As Pat said, remember Pat said that his partner Christine runs his business? Well, Naomi runs mine. I heard her on the phone today with someone saying, you know all that stuff Glenn does? Yeah, well, I run the whole lot. And I thought, you know what? As much as that makes me feel bad, it's true. How much is the VIP? Is this included in the Pat MEsiti package? Oh, my God, Tanya, you're a negotiating beast. Tanya, are you from NZ? Are you from New Zealand? I think you are, aren't you? Yeah, you are. You know what, Tanya? Given that you're not going to get the full 3 days of advertising because we've already done 2 out of the 3 days, yeah, I'll do some ads for you. If you grabbed Pat's package, then I'll chuck up an ad I'll get time for Tanya. I don't know how many others I'll get to, but I'll get time for Tanya that yeah, if you grab that, Tanya, then yeah, I'll give you the VIP package of this training, or at least the ad component of it. And we'll have a crack at Auckland and just see what we can do. So Gnomes, if you can just note Tanya Quazza, and I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, my apologies, Quazza. Yeah, we'll absolutely have some fun. See what we can do overnight between now, this time, and I'm going to be messaging my Facebook guy at God knows what time of the night it is, saying, hey, I've got a challenge for you, sir. Have some leads by tonight. So let's see how we go, Tanya. All right. So, hey, don't Tanya, don't just give me your suburbs. Oh, Quasar rhymes with plaza. Tanya, I thought when you said Quasar rhymes with plaza, I thought you were telling me the suburb you wanted me to target in the chat there. And I was going to say, don't do it to me, Tanya. So if you could reach out to Naomi at glentwiddle.com.au and just let her know what your area is that you focus on. Just tell your name, of course, that you bought the program in under the Pat deal, and we will get that. But do it straight away. Like, do it now. Naomi at glentwiddle.com.au. Make sure you get Glenn Twiddle spelled correctly, get that email tonight so that I can have a play tonight after we're done here and see what we can come up with. I might even try and do it myself rather than annoying my Facebook guy at 8:30 at night. We'll go from that. Denise, how about Christchurch too? Denise, if you want to, sort of push it on to Naomi, you can test your luck. The more people that do it, the quicker you get onto Naomi at glentwiddle.com.au, the more chance it's a yes. All right, there you go. Because she won't be able to do however many people. If 15 people invested in Pat's thing, we can't do 15. We'll do as many as we can in order of you emailing, your proof of purchase or whatever the case may be. There you go. Denise says, thanks, matey. My pleasure. All right, so let's get back to these crazy. Okay, so we'll go from the 8 years forever that I've been contacting you enough. Oh, so Andrew is saying, I love that he still wears his Batman cufflinks. So that was a strategy that I did with people that I knew. Like, this was one where I thought I grabbed everyone's birthdays off Facebook and I went through people that I actually knew, and I thought, okay, yeah, I've interacted with this person. And so some it was just a best guess. Clearly I got it right with Andrew because I'd send Captain America to some people and Iron Man or Spider-Man or Batman or a motorbike or different novelty but good-looking cufflinks as their birthday present. And Andrew, that must have been years ago, Andrew, and Andrew is still wearing them. And so, and he's still associated with me, as a person who kind of follows me as, now, again, I've never done one-on-one training with Andrew. Now, there's a bunch of the people on this call that are one-on-one students of mine that have been in my high-level programs. Andrew, that's not the case, but I still know him. We still hang. And every time he puts on those cuffs, Glenn Twiddle's influence has that much kind of mind space. And then one day, when the time's right for him, when he needs the skill set that he knows I've got, I'll get a call saying, hey, Glenn, come down, man. We're ready to rock. I need you, man. Just like your sellers, when they need to sell, will be, hey, Andrew, thanks so much for staying in touch. Come around and sell our house. It's exactly the same phenomena, So yeah, that's kind of the way I run my business. And then I teach you guys how to do the same thing that I do. And it works. And the other thing is, you get to be cool about it. You don't have to be a slime ball. Like, I was talking to a bloke today. I'm not even going to say who, I'm not even going to say where, because I hope it doesn't identify the guilty, because I don't want to be that. But he's a good dude. I've known him since I was cheap, right? That's how long. I remember we used to do one-on-one training for $199 a month. One-on-one, me, every month. So that's how long we go back, was when I first started. He spoke to me today, said that some former staff members of his set him up, knew a cop, got him charged, totally smeared him. He was in jail. All charges were dropped, but that doesn't mean the damage to his brand, his reputation wasn't severely severed. And when he told me this story about what former people that he paid were capable of, it made me sick to my stomach, because these people were real estate agents. You don't have to be that. And there's agents that'll kick over competitors' signs, that'll do all sorts of nasty things or whatever. You don't have to do any of that stuff when you work with this sort of attitude, this sort of system that we've been giving you guys a pretty good overview of over the last 2 days. And certainly once you've done 3 days with us, you'll have paid nothing and got a pretty bloody good education in how to do just that, so it's pretty cool. All righty. So Carolina says, because you are like a terrier, you just don't let go, and I love that. Actually, Carolina, because this is in response to how long I've been following up and how long I've been kind of wearing you guys down. What Carolina's saying is, because you are like a terrier, you don't give up and you don't let go, and I love that. But here's the beauty of it, Carolina. How often, let me ask you this, how long has it been, Carolina? Let's go down to the chat. How long has it been, if you had to guess? How long has it been? I'm just looking over there at the chat. 10 years. And how often and please think hard, how often have we one-on-one spoke? One-on-one. Other than now, don't count now, right? One-on-one. How often? How many times in 10 years? One-on-one. If you had to guess, maybe 6 times. So maybe once every year or two, we catch up for a few minutes, have a hug, say good day at some events and things. And yet, Carolina is still with us. She'll still come to the next event. She's still learning. We have a relationship, right? Now, here's the thing that is, now for some of my guys, when I work with you one-on-one for a year, like there's some of the guys, Lee's on here tonight, and there's a bunch of people on that have done stuff. Like I come to your office and I actually know you really well, and I get to know you. I get to know your family and all of those things. And it's a two-way relationship, 100%. Whereas what I would say with Carolina, I absolutely have seen her name in and about, and I know when we catch up that I recognize her. But there's thousands of Carolinas that have a relationship with me, and I can't know everyone intimately one-on-one. And yet, because of the manner with which I communicate in my marketing, my branding, my emails, my videos like this, delivered in groups and all of that sort of thing, Carolina feels that she knows me better than I know her. And it's unfortunate. I want that to change, Carolina. Let's hang, let's do something. But that's the case with you and your clients as well. They'll feel when you market in this way to your patch, they will feel like they know you personally because of the way you deal in category 3. Scott Lackman, he is a local hero up there in Caboolture. Everyone knows him. He doesn't know everyone, but everyone knows him. And that's the point. You're going to get to that in your area as well. Jared, who was on last night, I don't know if he's on tonight. Mr. Carmen, is he on? Let's have a look. No, he's not on. But Jared tells me about how he can't go shopping in his area or his frozen food will melt and go off because it takes him 2 hours because people just want to stop him and have a bit of a chat because he's famous in his area. That's the point, Big fish, small pond, we call it. So very small pond, this real estate world, but I did my best to kind of have everyone in it at least know who I am. Remember that's category 1. So Anton says, I'm one of those. Yeah, cool, man. But I tell you, man, even over the last couple of days, you've been on my Facebook Lives, we've been chatting, we've been exchanging messages and things. I feel like I know you a little better now, and that's how it works. And then one day when you need what I do badly enough, we'll end up hanging one-on-one. Or maybe we won't. Here's the other thing. Ash Martin has never invested in one-on-one program. I don't even think he's ever bought a group program. Ash Martin, he's one of my best friends in the industry. What he did, he would come to free events and cheap events, and then he would go back to his office and he would implement what he saw. You have a look at Ash Martin's business now. You'll see my influence all over it, and he's never paid me a dime. Well, he's never paid me a significant amount of money. He's just come to the free and cheap events. But he's used that and he's gone and built himself an amazing business. I've taken him to Arnold Schwarzenegger's house twice with me. He's never even been a client. Just because he made an impact on me just by coming and learning at a free event and then going and implementing like a champion. So, it's a funny world out there when you do business this way, and it's thoroughly rewarding, I can promise you. The 100-odd messages I got from you guys, and my thanks to you guys in emails, in SMSs, in just all of the different comments. Naomi was screen grabbing comments of thanks from you guys. That means the world. What a great way to do business, where you get to serve other people, make their lives better, and in doing so, make your life better. I mean, that's the Zig Ziglar thing. Help enough people get what they want, you get everything you want. That hasn't changed just because there's a virus out there. All right, gang. I'm going to take off. Glenn, you never talk to me enough. Oh, you son of a gun, Luke Walker. You son of a gun. Lucky you're the winner of the agent of the ad of the year award. Oh my God. All right. So Glenn, you are such a dagger. You're still wearing mismatching socks. Well, not tonight. I'm not wearing socks. I've got shorts, shorts and bare feet tonight. But yeah, sometimes pull out the pink socks. Is Lee Sutherland still on? Is Lee on? No, I think he's off now. Lee Sutherland, who was on before. Oh, no, he's still on. G'day, Lee. Lee's partner, Justin, always out-socks me because, I'd often wear the hot pink socks or whatever, and Justin is the sock king. Justin has his sock game so on point, it leaves me for dead. I almost want to retire my sock and go back to black just because Justin is the king of the socks. So yes, Carolina, you got to check out Lee and Justin at my next event, and then pull up Justin's pants leg, and you will have true sock mastery before your very eyes. Glenn, after 4 months with you, Felicity gets stopped at our local shop. Has happened a few times already. Alex Harden, star of the upcoming documentary Harden Up, a how-to guide for how to master real estate even in the middle of Corona Central. I'm going to get the title of Harden Up, the documentary. Anton saying slowly. So I'm slowly wearing him down. Sir, it would be an honour to get you to be stopped in your local shops. But man, you know what? Here's the other thing. If it's dollars, then implement these things. Because I tell you, the way a lot of these guys afforded one-on-one programs that are a bit more expensive, that fast track and take them to the next level, is they implement with free stuff. Like literally, you're going to get enough out of, you've probably already got enough out of these last 2 nights to go and implement a few things, go and try a few things and make a few commissions that you weren't going to earn. That goes a long way to funding me for a year, you know, so happy days. All right. Denise says, what's the email address? Again, naomi@glenntwiddle.com.au. There you go. Glenn, you're worth your weight in gold or hot pink ties. Thank you. Oh, you guys are lovely. All right. I rewatched another Chris Gilmore talk about him talking about people taking his business. And he said, I don't care, they won't implement it. And that meant a lot to me. It's a good point, Luke. Different Luke is Luke Richards, isn't it? Yeah, it's the other Luke. I can only see Luke, but it's Luke Richards, I think. Yeah. Now, John McGrath didn't use the same words, but that's why ARIC exists. John, when he talks at ARIC, he doesn't give you half of what McGrath does and saves the best stuff for his McGrath agents. When John McGrath speaks at a keynote speech at ARIC or at my events, like John's spoken to me for my events countless times, he's given you everything they do. He coaches you in those keynote speeches the same way he coaches his own people. But it's the same thing. You'll either do it and you'll appreciate it and it'll be a net win even if you succeed or whatever, no problem. But most of the time, people won't do anything with it. And yeah, it's definitely what Chris is right. But here's the beauty of it. For those that do implement what Chris teaches, and I'm honoured that I've been, kind of Chris's co-coach, that, in all his coaching programs, it's me and him talking about, because I've got to pull out of Chris, the gold and pull his brain out of his head and serve it up to you guys on a silver platter. It's those people like, Dan Richardson from down in South Australia. Chris would watch what Dan was implementing, and sometimes, just like when Chris would learn from me, he'd go and implement it. In many ways, he would improve what I taught him to do. Like my ultimate open home system. Chris bought that system off eBay off me for 99 cents, right? He bought it now. He only found out much later that I put it on eBay for 99 cents as a lead generating mechanism. My program on eBay gets me a name, an email address, a phone number, and then a 10-year paying coaching client. Do you think that was a good lead generation strategy to give away a very valuable program for 99 cents? Of course it was. Chris improved my ultimate open homes or whatever, made them better. So the same thing happens with Chris and some of the people that implemented the Santa letter, for example. Dan Richardson implemented a bunch of what me and Chris taught him down in South Australia. Great dude, look him up, Daniel Richardson, just fantastic bloke in every way. He's a recent member of our podcast, the Real Estate Renegades podcast. Have a listen to the Daniel Richardson episode of the Real Estate Renegades podcast. It's incredible, right? Chris would watch what Dan was implementing because sometimes Dan would improve it and then Chris would learn and get better. Beautiful symbiosis between coach and student. And I've been the beneficiary of that symbiosis, as has Chris as well. So Luke, I hope, you take something from that. It says it meant a lot to you. Therein lies the benefit. Not only will they not implement it, if someone does, you get better by them improving what you've done. It's a beautiful thing, my man. All right. So Brian has said, you shine, you are a beacon. Thanks. Is that me or is that my shiny head? Wait a minute, let me show you this. There you go. And Naomi didn't get me that beer that I sort of hinted at. Maybe she's not listening. There we go. Oh no, I'll get my brand up the top. There you go. Oh no, I don't want that one. That's the open house edition. There you go. So there you go. now I've got an excuse to be shiny because I got a spotlight up there. All right. So Lee said, I'm here. It's a socks off. Oh, it's a socks off. I lose tonight, mate. Look. There you go. Bare feet. Bare feet tonight. I lose. For those of you who are just joining us, I've just given away, this is how the green screen thing works. Anything that green gets replaced by the graphic. See that? But otherwise, a very nondescript room. Look, red shorts. Nothing fancy tonight. Very cool. I saw a meme on Facebook and it said 8 p.m., the arbitrary time that we now choose to get out of our day pajamas and into our night pajamas. I thought it's pretty funny. Pretty funny. All right. Ashley says, that was awesome content. Thanks, mate. I've got Pat's course. So I'm already winning. Oh, excellent, Ashley. Wonderful. Now, if that means you've already got Pat's course from years gone by, thumbs up to you, as do I. If that means you grabbed it tonight, then you got a deal. I promise you, you got a deal. Lee says, pick a color. I have it. And I suggest that's probably Justin that's typing that in. And I agree. I've seen some of Justin's socks, man. He is the best. All right. Can Naomi keep telling us when there's toilet paper at Currumbine Woolies? I've been to Woolies a couple of times and there has been most mornings. So I think the toilet paper rubbish is over or ending. And now we're just stuck with the reality of this situation. So it's sort of gone from toilet paper jokes to, oh my God, this is real kind of thing. So yeah, most of the Woolies, like the Woolies I've been at Currumbine and one up at Judah, like they've had it. So yeah. So Mark, are you from Currumbine? I didn't know that. I thought you were from Southeast Queensland, mate. Mark Romerman. I may be getting my marks wrong. I thought you were from Southeast Queensland, like northern suburbs. Maybe wrong. My apologies, sir. Kim Hay, thanks, Glenn Nomi, for another great session. See you tomorrow night. Yes, 5:30 Brisbane time tomorrow night. Same deal. Anton says, come to Woonona and I'll teach you how to say it. That's the plan. Is that the Woonona? All right. Success leaves clues. Absolutely, Carolina. Well, you know what, Carolina, when Pat said that I was a voice, I kind of got a bit embarrassed because I feel like more of an echo, meaning everything that I've ever taught people, I copied off someone else. Like I may have put my own flavor on it enough that I learned this from one mentor, this from another, and that collaboration after 10,000 hours of people yelling at me of how to think and what to do and all of that. Maybe that level, maybe when you learn from enough sources, it comes out of you as unique and individual, and none of those one sources could accuse me of plagiarism. But I promise you, I've never had an original idea in my life. It's all just that unique collaboration of learning 10,000 hours worth of mentors. And again, it all started with bloody Pat MEsiti. So pretty cool. So yes, success does leave clues. I do feel like I'm an echo because I've just learned from some of the greats. And, you know, look, I'm honored that Pat thinks that I'm an original, but I mean, I got a finalist for that Thought Leader of the Year thing. And I think, how do you get Thought Leader of the Year when you haven't had an original thought? You know, but the difference is I don't copy off just other real estate coaches. I go around the world, I copy off other marketers, other industries. I notice things, you know, I notice what I notice. When something gets my attention in any industry, I screen grab it or I take a photo of it. If it's online, I screen grab it. I use snipping tool on a desktop, I screen grab it on a phone, or I take a photo of it, it's out in the real world. And then maybe once a month, I'll just go through all of my screen grabs and snips, and I've got one folder on Dropbox that's my ideas file, and I'll just scroll through them all and I'll see what I can make work for real estate for you guys. There you go. That's original thought. Copy off other people and they'll never know because you're not copying off the same industry or even the same country necessarily. So pretty cool. Keep on shining. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it, Brian. Luke says, Glenn, put me on an IOU for your bigger program. Deal, man. Happy to do so, sir. Ashley said, just grabbed it. Good. You got a deal, my man. Fantastic info tonight. Wonderful, Trevor. Welcome. You stuck with me and Pat for a year. You're going to be sick of the sound of both of our voices, but your brain will be thankful for it. I just thought it was a clever, informative post. I am now. Okay, so now you're over in WA, but you were in Brisbane, yeah? This is Mark Romerman, because I remember that name, very unique. I remember that particular spelling from when I lived at Ferny Hills. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, were you the principal of an agency at Arana Hills when I lived at Ferny Hills? Perhaps, maybe wrong dude. Margaret says, not in Townsville. What's not in Townsville? Oh, no toilet paper, Margaret. Okay. Well, get tissues. Get tissues, get baby wipes. I remember when the toilet paper craze was none anywhere, there was dollar boxes of tissues stacked to the roof next door. I'm like, we don't have a problem, people. Oh, my goodness. Even Matt said, go in the shower and wash your bum. That's what Matt Steinway said. So Brian said, hasn't got to WA yet. This morning in Woolies 0. Okay. Well, there was yesterday morning in Currumbine in WA. So great to hear you are here in Perth with us. Yes, Carolina, I'm up here at Joondalup, Currumbine, Connolly, up north. And my kids are in Queensland and New South Wales, so I've got to go back eventually. I'm just worried about this whole quarantine thing and them not letting me see them. It's just, it's really yucky, I've got to say. But that gives me a lot of time to serve you guys. So it may break my heart, but I get to hang with you guys a lot, so that's some consolation. All right, I'm just going to stop recording. I'm going to keep chatting, but I'm going to stop recording this because it's been recording the whole time. So anyways, watching the recording, thank you. Come and hang tomorrow night, 5:30. See you then. All right, but for you guys, I'm still on. So from Nunda now in Kin Cross. Okay, cool, mate. Cool. So much info, great content. Off to bed. It's 11:45 here in NZ. Denise, you are a beast. I love it. Well done. Give us another 15 minutes so you can say, I was up till midnight working on my skill set to help you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, get top dollar for your property. Yeah, do it. Give us another 15, Denise, just so you can say, I did a midnight shift last night. What about you? Fantastic content tonight. You are so not an echo. As you have GT'd stuff, it is so uniquely you. That's all I reckon from that, Carolina, is I reckon there's so much stuff that's gone in from other people, it comes out unique. I reckon that's kind of the secret, that I've found a way to, get so much in that no one mentor can lay claim to me having stolen everything. That's what Pat was talking about. There are some people that literally can do Anthony Robbins off by heart. I've heard him, So, no one can say that about me because I got so many mentors. I probably have 50, but from the top, Pat Mesiti was first, Mal Emery was second, Kurek Ashley would have been early as well, then Tony Robbins, Joel Bauer, Dan Kennedy before Joel Bauer, because I learned about Joel Bauer through Dan Kennedy, Joel Bauer, what's his name? The other Dan Kennedy. I got his whole program. Oh my God! Now I'm going to be cranky at myself. Jay Abrahams, bloody hell. Joe Polish, Frank Kern, of course the classics. Jim Rohn, probably 1,000 hours of Jim Rohn in my head. Probably 1,000 hours of Jim Rohn. I love him. Jim Rohn's probably my favorite. Jim Rohn was Tony Robbins' first mentor. So what Pat was to me, Jim Rohn was to Tony Robbins. So stick him in your YouTube and have a listen to. In fact, one of the Millionaire Mindset episodes is a recording that Pat got from Jim Rohn. He got personal permission because Pat mentored with Jim Rohn. Pat literally spoke at the same event as Jim. They built a relationship. So Pat licensed some of Jim's private trainings, and you've got one of them in that training program. And Jim Rohn is the guy who single-handedly brought us Tony Robbins. Tony used to work for Jim Rohn selling motivational tapes as one of his first jobs. And when Jim Rohn passed, Tony Robbins gave a magnificent, touching tribute to, his first mentor. So beautiful, beautiful dude. So cool. What would you recommend for listening to podcasts? I gave a few last night, but let me give you a couple that are some of my favorites. Well, Real Estate Renegades. Start with that because that is literally my stuff for free through the stories and through the lessons of my students. So I sit there and I'll pick Dan Richardson's brain on how he implemented what I taught him. Then I'll talk to Travis Denham about he implemented my system. I'll talk to James Tostovan. Now, of course, I take no credit for James Tostovan, but what I'm identifying is where James agrees with us that's in our system. So the Real Estate Renegades one is a really good one to start with for me, for my stuff. And again, beauty of podcasts are they're free. On the list, Joe Rogan is high on my rotation in a lot of different ways. He's sort of a guilty pleasure, I suppose, in some ways, because it's a lot of different stuff in Joe Rogan world, but certainly very motivating. He's awesome. Gary Vaynerchuk, the Gary V Audio Experience, check that one out. And Matt Steinway, I love Matt's take on the world. It's so different to mine. That's why I like it. It gives me a counterpoint. I've got every audio program of Pat MEsiti, so that's always on a rotation if ever I need sort of mindset stuff. Eric Thomas. So not only with Eric, his podcast, which is sort of him hanging out with friends, and you do get some lessons in the podcast, but Eric has got so many free training videos on YouTube, a combination of the podcast and the free videos on YouTube. Eric Thomas is magnificent. So that's enough to get you started, my man. Put them on your recommended listening list. Luke says, just because you echo good information doesn't mean you aren't a voice for the industry. We are past the time of information and into the time of knowledge. Yeah, perhaps. Well, certainly, and that's the thing, is I took on information, and by implementing it, first in my business, then testing it in clients' businesses, yeah, it comes out the other end as knowledge, heaven forbid, maybe even, dare I say, wisdom, maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, it's certainly, definitely it's not just information that I'm regurgitating, I'm regurgitating it with the benefit of millions of dollars in my money having been invested personally in implementing these strategies, and then multiple millions of my clients' money been invested in them implementing it, and the result has come back in a multiple of the millions I've spent in my bank account and multiples of the millions that clients have spent in their bank account. So yeah, with that implementation comes, some knowledge and some wisdom of how that stuff works. 1000%, mate. Ashley says everybody has to learn from someone. Agreed, my man. And for me, it probably took more. It took me 10,000 hours, probably what should take the average one of you 1,000 hours, because maybe I'm not the smartest cookie in the shed, but, well, and there you go. That saying proves it. Maybe I'm not the smartest cookie in the shed. Proves my point. There you go. Gum leaves. All right. Is that an ostentatious quote? I'm not leaving till gum leaves? Is that from Australiana? I don't know. Child of the 80s? Don't know. Plumbers will hate you. Why will they hate me, Ben? Don't know what that one's about. Plumbers will hate you. Don't know. I stockpiled before the craziness. Plumbers will hate you. Hey, I didn't say it. Matt did. This is the wash your bum. I'm sure he doesn't mean just do the whole thing down the drain. I'm sure he means maybe a wipe or two with a tissue and then clean it. Stop it. Yeah, it's gross. Matt Steinway, I blame you, sir. All right. Margaret says, I stockpiled before the craziness. Jade says, great night. Hopefully secure Pat's deal to Moz. Reach out. If the website's down, reach out to me or Naomi. All right. Mark says, I was principal at Banyo, sales manager at Aspley and Nunda. Yeah, I reckon it is you then, man, that I would have come across when I was living, when you were at Aspley and I was living at Ferny Hills, perhaps. Yeah, cool. The world's about to end. You should sell now before the banks close in. Facebook ad. There's Luke's copywriting prowess. The world's about to end. Sell now before the banks close in and live the high life. Oh, Luke. I don't know. Maybe we need to revisit my copywriting course, my man. Oh, Michelle Lockwood saw Jim Rowan live. I'm envious. I never got to see him live. I'm very envious because that man's energy, even through his recorded materials, is so infectious. I would have been in awe to have met that man one-on-one. I did reach out to his company to try and do a podcast, like an interview for my CD of the month many years ago. And I think because it wasn't long after that he passed away. So I hope I wasn't the death knoll, the mocker or whatever. But yeah, he did. He graciously said, and I quote through his team, he said, please pass on my apologies. He can't do it at the moment. He's not well and he's spending his remaining time, because they do believe that he's not well and may not recover, with his family. So we hope you understand. And he did say there's a whole bunch of my stuff out there in my lessons, and he thanked me for my inquiry. So it's pretty cool to even get that message from the late, great Jim Rowan. And Michelle, for you to have seen him live, that's a treat that I unfortunately can never enjoy, that I would dearly have loved to, because he's one of the all-timers. Yeah, cool. All right, you guys are starting to, wane off, as am I. So a great night, off to get some letterbox drops and motivated. Well done, I'm glad. Is it Alison? How do you pronounce that? Is it Alice? Is it Allison? Is that how to pronounce that? It's just unique spelling. Either way, good on you. Get out there and get it done. Very nice. Anton saying, got ahead. My pleasure, sir. Look forward to catching up tomorrow night. Scott Moore says, GT, can you hang back for 5 minutes after this? Absolutely, man. I'm a bit spent, so I can do 5. Yeah, I'll send you a link in a minute, Scotty. No props. But I am a bit spent, so my brain may not be at its best. I'll do my best though, man. Alex is saying gum leaves is the new TP, the new toilet paper. Oh my God, that Boy Scout thing, mate. Is that what that is? Hi, Glenn. It says you were still recording on Facebook. Oh, it's still live. The Facebook Live's still going. Yeah, I'm in the recording here on Zoom, the high quality one, because the Facebook Live's never as good a quality as Zoom. Tissues and baby wipes, absolutely, Ben. Yeah, and Lisa says, I think I mean gum leaves instead of toilet paper. Yep, absolutely. You guys figured it out. See, and that's what I mean, Scott. I'm not quite as sharp after 3 hours of ranting, even though I had an hour off for Pat to do his bit. Don't forget to call your children, get off GT. It's too late for them now. It is 10 o'clock in their neck of the woods. And one of my children was on here tonight. Is he still on here? No, he's not. One of my children was on this webinar because he loves Pat. And he brought some friends on. I don't know, are any of his friends still on? Where's Sven? Is Sven still on here? No, I think all of Calvin's friends are gone. But yeah, Calvin and his mates, he's 16, going on 300. And him and his friends jumped on to listen to Pat tonight. So it was pretty cool. So yeah, I won't be able to call my little East tonight, Carolina, because they're in New South Wales, 10 p.m. there. They're in bed. Call them tomorrow. Trina saying good night. Thank you. Ben, see you tomorrow night. Absolutely, my man. Let's see how many leads we can get for you by tomorrow night, hey? Going good so far for you, though. Excellent. All right, gang, thank you. Hey, and once again, if you want to sort of say thanks, I appreciate the love on these in the Zoom here. I would dearly love a Google. If you've never done a Google review, I would dearly love one. If you've never done a Facebook review, I would dearly, dearly love one. Maybe pick one that you haven't done. If you've done a Facebook review, maybe think about maybe go and do a Google one. That'd be awesome. Although, if you've hated every minute of it, please go and review me under my other name. I'm trying to think of a speaker that I don't like. I like them all. So anyway, yeah, just find another speaker. That's my pseudonym, not Glenn Twiddle, if you want to sort of give me a critique of how bad I was. But if you've had some fun, Facebook or Google, I'd love a thanks on that. That helps me help other people, because other people see that, and it helps me sort of continue to do what I love to do and what seems to be really, really valuable for you guys if you implement. If you don't, well, we've just had some fun. It's been entertaining. Maybe we've killed a couple of hours, which is good, but I'd rather it change your life and then you come back and tell me how much cash you earned. And like I jokingly said years ago, go earn some cash, and then I'm not much of a car guy, so buy me a Harley. And not so many years later, the crazy buggers, and I don't know if there's any of the Harley crowd on tonight, but they chipped in and bought me a Harley Davidson. It's crazy talk. So it's certainly a wonderful ride that I'm honoured to have been a part of. So anyway, on that note, it's possible to get the link for last night's. Yeah, it's on, Deborah, it's on my Facebook page and it's on YouTube. You should be able to find it. The Ultimate 2020 Real Estate Agent. It's sort of 2 or 3 posts ago on Facebook, my Facebook page, and it's the most recent upload on YouTube. So that's where it is, and it's in your emails if you're on my email list. And if you're not, how could you not be, Deborah? After all this time, I emailed it out today. If you're on my email list. Cool. All right, gang. 5:30 Brisbane time tomorrow. See you then, gang. Scotty, I'll send you a link in a minute, man. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye for now.